Yeah, pre-show is the best show.
Do it.
But anyways, evening, everybody.
Oh,
welcome to the program. I wasn't sure we were ever going to get here. You'll have to excuse presentation this week. It's a little lacking because as you know, of course, we were at Joefest last weekend, and then that rolled into getting home in a 12-hour car trip, which I drove the whole way, and then that turned into rushing out Special Edition 91, which a lot of you haven't watched yet, and you need to do because God knows we're not putting out free content there for nobody. And then that turned into switching my schedule back over to working overnights.
What?
So I'm tired.
Yeah, you look good.
I'm tired. And then Sunday night came and the car died. So a lot of time since Sunday has been spent dealing with that mess and that noise. So if we miss something tangential, shut up about it. I don't care. And
always win in favor with the audience.
Right. But again, there's so much that happened at Joefest with each individual vendor, so many of whom you saw in the weeks leading up to Joefest on this very channel. We will kind of circle back around with them as the weeks come through and whatever reveals they may have had there, we'll talk about with them there. There's Mark showing off the Finback button that is inspired by what's on Joe Mind. So yeah, just again, shut up about it. This is the greatest show you've ever seen. End of story. Stick with us. We'll be back after you watch our kick-ass intro. Everybody, welcome aboard. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05 or so p.m. Eastern time. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
Woohoo!
Thank you for staying with us through a special encore presentation of Strange Brew on the Superstation. But it's time to get down to business. Joining me here in the top row, he is the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's the Hunt Show, Mark Weber.
And if anybody comes down these stairs behind me, it'll be a total shock to me because the lovely Mrs. Weber, the lovely Elizabeth Weber, and badass Derek Weber are all in the wind because July 4th, there's nowhere you'd rather be than Phoenix for July 4th.
What did you do to them, Mark?
Dude, that's where Michelle's family is. So, but I only get so many vacation days, right? So and somebody's got to watch the dog, right? So short straw on this one. Off they go. Don't burn up.
Short straw until you realize that's Phoenix in the middle of July.
Yeah. Right? Speaking of the dog and the cat, Mark, did they enjoy their treats?
They did.
Okay.
Emma pawed at hers for a little bit, which is weird because she's a peanut butter maniac. So I assumed she'd just take a sniff and be all over it, but she kind of bumped it around with her nose for a little while first and then gave it a lick and decided, all right, I'm in. So giant peanut butter Cheerio, yeah, eat it. So she figured it out.
Low calorie too. You can pop those at her all day.
Right, I could. Maybe if she's quiet, we'll see. Because guess what? When just Michelle is gone, I'll say to the kids, like the first hour, I'll be like, so your mom's gone, and you know what that means? And they both say in the sing-song, depressed voice, Daddy-law. And I go, that's right. Daddy-law. I'm in charge. So.
Derek Holloman is positing that everyone gone in the Weber house means the honcho is probably pantless. And I'd put money on that.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm usually pantless. So, you know. I mean, if your legs glowed in the dark, you would want to keep them covered up. So.
Right. I mean, it saves you a fortune because you don't have to plug in night lights.
That glow behind me is the reflection off my legs. So It's pretty exciting.
Right. It's not so much that you're pantless, but it's just basketball shorts.
Yeah, pretty much. Hiked way up. John Stockton's like, damn, those are short.
Andrew Gauguin, Daddy Law coming to CBS this fall, 1957.
And they play along so well. You know what that means? Daddy Law. That's right. Every time. That's what we do.
I like the way you say, that's right.
Yeah.
It's going to become a Weberism, much like, oh no.
Oh, well, yeah, at least that's right is original. Oh no, it's a straight butthead rip, but
still. So something about when you say it, Mark, makes it funny.
Dude, when they just flipped to a Bon Jovi video, and that was the first reaction. You don't even see him, you just hear butthead go, oh no.
In the bottom row is on his lonesome this week because we figured we didn't want to have a guest in this week because we wanted as much time as we could spare for Joefest stories. It's Rack Time Rob.
I'm man spreading down here. Oh
yeah. Can we stretch his window so he can really explore the space?
Maybe. Ooh. Maybe. Let me. No, I can't. No.
So pan and scan, not widescreen.
Right. StreamYard is great about a lot of things. I can monkey around with the setup on a lot of what we have going on here. I don't, but I can. But it won't let me expand Rob's window mid broadcast like this. Maybe for next week.
I don't think my my laptop camera is equipped with wonderful VistaVision.
It's good to know that Rob is the foundation of the program.
It does have smell-o-vision though.
Oh, and when I say foundation, I mean that we're both above him. Yeah.
Ouch.
I was so nice in person, but now we got distance. We
he is the oldest, so he will be in the grave the soonest.
That's true.
Theoretically.
I didn't know he was older than me. Who knew?
Yeah. Look, man, it's been
like 10 months.
Man. Yeah, but I'll do you one better. I woke up Monday morning. I woke up at like 4 a.m. on Monday with a sore knee, like out of nowhere, enough that it woke me up. And I'm like, I didn't do anything physical yesterday. I didn't bang it. I didn't twist it. I apparently hurt myself.
You did spend a couple days standing on hard concrete.
Yeah, but it shouldn't just start hurting like after a while, right? That's weird. And I wore double socks, the key to a successful show. But it was just like old man injury, right?
Right.
I just all of a sudden hurt, just like that. So I've been taking stairs like a baby, like good foot up, drag the bad foot, good foot up, drag the bad foot, like absolutely worthless. So that's my old man injury of the week. I just woke up hurt. That's great. That's a new one.
The good thing is, with nobody around, if you got to go upstairs, you can just go on all fours. Just use your hands to help propel you around.
I'll just lasso Colin and let him pull me up. That's a good idea.
He might try to jump around to various pieces of furniture, though. That might not work out well for you.
Yeah, cats are always cooperative for that sort of thing.
Be swinging around all over the place like some unwanted trailer.
He's pretty well trained-ish.
Did he like the goop in a tube?
Yep. Anything in a tube he's down for. Now here's the trick. I have to feed him. He's going on some antibiotics. So now it'll be
now goop in a tube has a purpose.
Absolutely. We used to fight my gigantic fat cat, 16-pound Dante, to make him. He was totally docile unless you tried to feed him a pill, and then it was just on. He was like gladiator cat, and we went in to a vet, and he was like, yeah, he'll need, a pill a day for 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh boy. He said, wait, I don't like pills? And I said, like cats? Oh no, he's not the breed that loves pills. And he's like, watch this. And he put one down because you knew Dante was fat.
Right.
He just brought out some friggin' cheese whiz and just went on top of it. And Dante was like, heaven on earth. And it got crunchy at the bottom of the cheese whiz, but he didn't care. He just thought it was like maybe the solidified cheese at the top of the spigot when it's not brand new fresh, and he was in.
Right.
So we're gonna test that with Dante. We'll see how, or with Colin. We'll see how it goes.
That was that was part of the weekend. We got several Fat Dante stories.
Yeah, Dante was a big cat.
We will, of course, share some of our Joefest tales with you later on in the program. We're going to cover the basic stuff first. I know there's folks asking about cake stories, and Hans Chow made a human entrance. He did not enter Joefest through the skylight, which was a little disappointing, but it didn't get him kicked out at the same time. So, but we'll cover all that in short order. But first, we do need to do our normal What's on Joe Mind thing. And that means we're going to start tonight with community calendar as soon as I get the button. There we go. I got different settings because I recorded on a different show last night. And that was a little loud. I was not prepared. Anyways, first up.
Did you just say different settings? Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
They should just call that button Botox, right?
Right. It's or just call it the Odo button. 1, 2,
the Odo button.
3, 4. It's even creepier. It makes my lack of eyebrows even more creepy.
They're here.
Ooh, okay.
Right, because it smooths out the ridge of your head, which hints that they might be there.
Yeah, you see where they should be, but
right. I mean, they're there. If you're like, if somebody's standing next to you, in real life, they can see eyebrows, but they are not the most photogenic bastards in the world.
I would love to color them like a dark red one time, just to see how incredibly weird that would look. Like,
you got to come on with some Ultimate Warrior face paint get up going at one show.
I should Annette Funicello them sometime and just come on the show and no one references it. When Carlos Boozer did the spray on hair for one game.
We're not going to talk about Professor Feathers.
Fair enough.
Anyways, first up, Mark, we'll kick this one over to you right off because it's kind of in your wheelhouse. But July 7th, that is this weekend, is the Northeast Comic Con and Collectibles Extravaganza.
Yeah, that loud curse you heard coming from the Indiana region was me sending this to Mike at like 6:15 tonight, right?
I was still doing slides at 6:15, so it was fine. And, you know, if it was any other week and I'm long done by the time Tuesday evening rolls around, it might have been more of a problem. But this time, no problem at all, because I was way behind.
I mean, we love Tuesday news drops. So, all right. So here's the deal. This is a Bone Collector from Bobby Valla's Action Force line. It's the second version of them, the 100th item that he's made. And he debuted it at the Dallas Fort Worth military show that ran at the same time as Joefest. So there's a bloody variant of it that's rare that some people came up with. They come in a sealed box. So there is a bit of a golden ticket thing going on. And he will be selling it at Northeast Comic-Con and Collectibles Extravaganza. That's in, and be very careful with this, it's in Boxborough, Massachusetts. And if you think Boxborough has little brother syndrome, you're 1,000% right. Because the Patriots don't play in Boxborough.
No, that's Boxborough with a B as in Bobby.
Yeah, Boxborough, which is just up the road from Worcester, you know. But
there's a Boxborough and a Foxborough.
Yeah.
They were not good about naming towns in colonial times, Rob.
No, and an Attleboro as well, which is closer to me, but whatever. So Boxborough is like northwest of Boston. This is not a big show, but it's close enough, good to drop in. So Bobby will be up there selling the Bone Collector, and fans are very excited about this. So excited that the first ones that got out, not even the rare version, are kind of blowing up on eBay, and the fans are not happy about it. It was going to be sold at shows through the rest of the year. Action Force is going to Terrific Con, to Rhode Island Comic Con, to Joe Lanta, And then what stock was prospectively left was going to go up on our website by the end of the year. And then Bobby said, nuts to that. We're selling it Sunday, and on Monday, we're going to put a good chunk of the stock up on Valaverse.com. So if you're looking to get the Bone Collector version 2, Monday is your target on Valaverse.com. But if you're local to me, then head on up to Northeast Comic-Con in Boxborough on Sunday, and you can get your Bone Collector a day early. How's that?
There you go.
And Bone Collector is one of the guys I wrote the original file card for, which is why he's from Tucson, Arizona, because nothing good comes from Tucson. There you go.
Oh, goodness. Anyhow, next up, we move forward to the Best Dan Toy Spectacular. That's happening at Sergeant Red's Toys and Collectibles in Utica, Michigan. That is the following week. That is July 14. That is a week from Sunday. From 12 to 3 p.m., you can see our pals Dan Larson and Dan Erdley, Pixel Dan, as he's known on the streets. They will be in attendance at this fine event. You can get more information at Sergeant Red's Toys and Collectibles on Facebook.
Or Spencer Powers, as he's known in the ring.
Right, the Spotlight, Spencer Powers.
So good.
If you go, don't forget to bring them cake.
Right. Right. There's we started a cake feud with Pixel Dan. So yeah, we'll get more into that later.
Anybody know how to get cake out of a mohawk? I'm asking for a friend.
Cake feud. We're inventing new things, always innovating, never complacating. That's not a word, but you see, I just made it up because we're always innovating.
We are complicitatious, if nothing else.
I was going to say something. I'm going to let it go.
Right. It's for the best. We're just off on all kinds of.
That's a Muhammad Ali line, right? Well, I don't know what that means, but if it's good, I'm that.
Firefly notes that he's just super disappointed that both Dans set up next to each other and didn't have a speaker playing Steely Dan. I made that same joke to Pixel Dan when he was setting up Thursday night. So yes, I'm with you there. Said the exact same thing. It's like, you guys just going to play Steely Dan, or? And he was like, I probably should have. And I was like, it's not helping anybody, Dan.
Nope.
It's clearly, we need to be on the creative team there.
Look at this. I had it. Michael Gene Fleming almost drove by.
There we go. We were close to passing through Boxborough today as we went to Boston. We're tempted to drive to Rhode Island and tell Mark we're going to watch the show at his house. He'll let you in. There's room.
Yeah.
Family's gone. You whatever. Sit at the table.
Rhode Island's small, but it's not like there's one house on a hill that says Weber on it, right?
There's just one road going through. It takes you about 15 minutes, and you just wait. We just watch. It's all alphabetical. You just go to the house that says Weber.
Yeah, it's fair.
Mark's house is the county seat.
It's the big house on the big side of town.
There is no big side of town. It's Rhode Island. Rhode Island is the town.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm on the bad side of the bridge. You know what the bad side is? Both sides. Stinking bridge.
The above ground side.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving forward, also on the 14th, it's a familiar entry. It's Toyman. Of course, if you're anywhere close to St. Louis, Missouri, you owe it to yourself to get to a Toyman show. It is at the Machinist Hall out in Bridgeton, Missouri. That's out by the airport. You can get more details. Toymanshow.com is there, but really you get more details off of their Facebook page. Check them out there at Toyman Show. $5 gets you in the door. It runs from 9 to 2. $15 gets you in an hour early. Parking is free and plentiful. Dave Draper may be in attendance. There's a strong possibility of Dave Draper, our friend from Toy World Order. Find him and give him a big hug, and that will get you a 0% discount on admission. He is aware of this, so he may try to fight/pepper spray you. So be aware. Dave is aware of the what are we calling it? The promotion to get that 0% discount. So be careful.
Somebody will tape it on their phone and we'll put yakety sax under it, and it'll be amazing.
Is yakety sax public domain?
If for 6 seconds or less, it is.
All right.
No.
Right.
That's all we get.
We get that first little lick in there. We get the first idea. Biff McConkey Donk wants to know, Mark, how long ago did you get electricity?
I've been electric all my damn life.
Right. Look, Mark is he's in a tiny state, but it's not a backwards one.
No, I'm electric. Boogie boogie boogie.
Right. It's between New York and Boston. They got electricity.
Yeah. Out here in the east, where the electricity is all above ground,
right?
So the storms can knock the lines down and put you out of power a couple times a year.
Right. Look at Phil and his West Coast snobbery.
I know.
They put the power lines underground in Arizona. I don't know if you've ever tried to dig in Arizona, but that is the hardest earth ever because it's been baked for a couple hundred years.
You figure there's a layer of loose sand covering because you need that for special
layer
effect.
Of loose sand and then ceramic.
Right, and underneath that is just earthen
porcelain,
igneous rock.
Igneous.
Hans Schau's
Hans Schau has questions here. Two things. My knuckleheaded self forgot to get a picture with you guys at Joefest. I was too in awe. Are you coming back next year? If they'll have us.
Yeah.
It's too early to confirm that 100%, but that's the plan.
If the Baroness demands it,
right,
it will happen.
And then second, how much is a complete beachhead supposed to cost?
Oh, he's fishing.
Right. That's I would say if you're paying more than 35, you're paying a little too much. But that would be my my general rule on that one. Not counting shipping. Shipping is always extra. You can't include shipping in the cost of your item. That's not fair. That's not something that's in control by your seller. So yeah, if you're just the piece itself, yeah, 35 is an okay price. It's not a eye-popping price. It's anybody trying to charge you 50 or 60 is out of their freaking gourd.
Yeah.
There and believe me, 50 or 60 is conservative from some of these folks. They think they got a beachhead with a waist piece on it, and they've got gold or something. No, dude. There's a million of them. Good effort.
Those guys you pop right in the face, give them a beachhead ache, just like that. Ooh.
That's when they get the beachhead butt.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
So hey, come in.
From the size 8 noggin. Right. Bam.
There's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? Ugh. Little Glasgow kiss. That's all I need.
Skeletron guys gave me one of their hats to wear around the con, and I couldn't do it because I took it all the way open. It was one of those trucks all the way open, and it barely got on my head that way. So I had to give it to camera jockey Jamie Johnson.
I think anybody who gives you a hat, and me too, maybe Rob too, should include a little propeller to put on top of it, right?
Right.
That's the only way.
It should probably just be like sewing two of them together to put
right, because my dome is huge and Mark's dome is huge and Rob is kind of a normal sized dome with too much hair on it.
No, so it's not a normal sized dome, Mike.
His hats don't fit real well. So yeah, Jamie was the only one because he's more of a regular sized person.
Yeah.
We're a burly podcast. We can rumble with any other Joe podcast out there. There's nobody out there touting the AOP, double heavyweight like Weber and myself, tandem like we do.
And just because the most psycho and unpredictable one of us, Joe Colton, has not appeared regularly in some time, that doesn't make us any weaker, right? It just made the rest of us double down on the crazy. So
right. It just means we each carry a smoke capsule in our pocket, and we can just throw that on the ground and she will appear.
Right.
So be ready for that.
Mm-hmm. So we want the smoke. No, you don't. Oh, you don't.
Oh my God, she's 7'3". Yes, yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Plus, she's got a mini me that bites, I'm told. So
I'm not going to confirm on the biting.
no,
I think we're just gonna let Mango Habanero be a sweet little baby as long as we can.
She's a spicy meatball. We know
Right.
that.
The biting can happen when she's well into toddler and preschoolhood.
Yeah, she's what? A quarter Greek, a quarter Canadian, half American, and all dangerous.
Right. Just Jeff 45 says she's no New Jack. I mean, I would argue that she's totally New Jack because she ain't dead.
Yeah.
So
she's New Jill.
There you go.
That guy was insane. I better not talk bad about New Jack anymore because he might come get me anyway.
Yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. Say it one more time,
right.
See what happens.
No, thank you. Also, this weekend, it is an online event. As you know, our friend at Roma Collectibles, Aaron, diagnosed with cancer recently. They are doing a live benefit auction with all proceeds going to the Dietrich family. That is happening on the Route 68 Toy Mall Facebook page. So be sure to check that out. Get that earmarked. Set your clocks for 3 p.m. Eastern, and head over to the Route 68 Toy Mall Facebook page.
Now you're a lot closer to Aaron than I am. I don't know him as well as you do, but I've always watched him at the show with his booth just killing it. Right. Like a pro's pro. And we were looking around at other tables and other booths when we were setting up on Friday. And when we got there,
which was pretty early. We were pretty early.
Yeah.
To put our banner.
Yeah.
Because we had nowhere else to.
We had a banner.
Right? We had some plans for it on how to hang that banner, but the Roma Collectibles booth, 100% set up, 100% ready for business, covered up professionally, and not a soul there. Like they were done,
right,
and ready for the show like 7 hours earlier. And I was just watching him roll around and run that joint, given what he's fighting right now, was incredibly impressive.
Right, and despite all my begging and pleading, he did not let me ride the scooter.
Nope. And how do I say this without making it sound weird? His lovely wife let me borrow her redheaded beard for a photo op.
Right. That picture is on our Facebook page, so be sure to check that out.
Appreciate the loaner.
Right.
Let's be honest, look better on her, but whatever.
I don't know about that, Mark. You might have rocked the beard better than she did.
It was, they have filters where you can Muppetize yourself. Don't need it.
And from my discussions with Mary Mercenary on Sunday night after you had left us, Mark, she was impressed that you just slapped the beard on there.
Yeah, come on.
She was like, yeah, she was wearing that beard all day, talking through it, sweating in it. So you just threw it on for the photo op because you don't care about that shit.
Well,
he had to go hunt some bumbles.
The last time I was on, I think I was on a trip somewhere, and I didn't bring my charging cord for my razor, so I got 3 days growth, and I shave every morning, and I didn't know because I got some silver working its way in all over. I get them when I can, but I knew I was a little ruby and salt in the goatee area. Did not realize that sideburns down to goatee is 100% silver, right? I look like a terrible Hollywood Hogan cosplay if I let it go. So the opportunity to put on a fully red beard that I will never be able to grow was, you can't miss. So yeah,
it looked more at home on you than it did on really anyone else that in the building, frankly.
Yeah, and I put the photo on my Facebook page and said that time I ran away and joined the Electric Mayhem.
Right. But it was one of the fans that noted that really locked it down by calling you Yukon Cornelius.
It's perfect. Because in my head, I was like, I look like somebody, but I don't remember who. And yeah.
And that was it. That was like summer Yukon Cornelius, a little slimmed down, not quite the burly ice climbing bumble hunter of the wintertime. Oh no, this is summer, Yukon Cornelius.
Yeah,
and that's what you had going on.
Yeah, it was a good look. So I appreciate Mary helping me out. Always good when you can borrow the beard you can't grow yourself from a nice lady.
Right.
So kudos to her.
Sunday, 3 p.m. Set your clocks, buy some toys, do some good. And then, of course, the following week on July 20, we're all going to slide on down to Kentucky. Check out the Kentuckiana G.I. Joe Toy Expo. Very quietly become a great show. That is out in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. I refuse to correct that. I don't know. This is not a week to get me to correct slides, okay? That is in Shepherdsville, Kentucky. That is from 10 to 4 on July 20th. $8 gets you in the door. $15 gets you in for early bird. And there is a Friday night preview. That is $30 to get in there. Plus, it gets you an early bird ticket for the next day. Kids 12 and under are free, although I can't imagine wanting to pick one of them up. I'd rather go home with the kid 13 and over, just because I know they'll be gone soon.
Mm.
Right?
Fair enough.
But more information available to you on the KY Joe group on Facebook or kygijoe.com.
Just be careful when you're typing that in, man.
I could get you on a list, but yeah. I mean, probably not a list, but whatever. Your business is your business.
Word to the wise, right? If you're interested in learning more about the presidency of the United States, it's whitehouse.gov. Anything else, you're going to end up somewhere weird.
Right.
And if you're looking up Hockey Hall of Famer, Montreal Canadiens legend Yvonne Cornway, be very careful with that one.
Right.
Just saying. Just saying.
Look, man, I used to work for Dick's Sporting Goods, and it amuses me greatly that if you see the ads that they have running on TV these days, they're telling everybody to go to Dicks.com. When I worked for Dick's Sporting Goods, and mind you, this is going on it's over a decade ago. When I worked for Dick's Sporting Goods, we used to tell people specifically on their way out the door, it's dickssportinggoods.com. Don't go to Dicks.com. Don't do it. It's not going to be good for you. Dick's Sporting Goods, no apostrophe, Dick's Sporting Goods, full name.com. So, yeah, I see those commercials and I laugh for a whole other reason.
They must have bought the other one, right?
Right. I used to joke that it was they were trying to get that site from the first person on the internet. Because clearly, what are you going to do?
Nuts.com.
Well, no, Nuts.com was second. Because they founded Nuts.com in 1920 something, back when the internet was young.
We were a gal at McFarland and I were driving to the airport to go to a show, and she was I'm not going to name her, but super nice gal, very religious, wonderfully nice person. And we were driving, and she's like, "Oh man, I forgot to get change." She had like a couple $100 bills, but needed change for the register. And we were literally driving by one, and so I decided I would work quasi blue. And I'm like, "You want to go to Dick's?" Killed her, absolutely killed her. And we missed the exit. Just kept driving.
Right, Jake Rose notes: even if it gets you on a mailing list, it's still awkward. That is the truth, sir.
True.
That is the truth.
I can check it out this week. Ain't nobody here.
Right. But then what happens when they come home and they look in your browser history, Mark? They
wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying, it's anything to excise themselves from the oppressive regime of daddy law.
Right. Wait, they keep track of where you go on the net?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where we would ordinarily put in our homemade ad for what is that? What's that one? Anyways, I can't remember. Surfshark. We'll do our Surfshark ad there.
I thought it was the happy guy with the "oops, I crap my pants" diapers.
We can get him up though.
He can't. Oh,
well, no, they stay up. He gets them up once, and they're up there for good.
Look at him.
Look at him, that happy ass bastard.
Former Arizona State coach. I forgot his name. Didn't like him.
Oh, well, I mean, we weren't even mad about that one, so I feel like we've broken a covenant there. But what can you do?
That's fair.
You know, there was no juice loose in your caboose.
No. Not in Pee Wee Valley, Kentucky.
No, not at all. But we might be out there for this one. I don't know. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. It's only 2 hours for us, so you might get a Mike and Rob sighting. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I won't be there.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, if it was this week, I would have the option, but
I don't know, man. We could figure out a way.
nah, NXT Heatwave is on Sunday. I'm pretty committed to that.
Sunday,
well, I mean, as long as you got plans.
Right. So long as it's NXT Heatwave.
Yeah.
That's the 20th?
I think it's Sunday, yeah.
Well, because the 20th is a couple of Sundays or a couple of Saturdays.
Yeah, but I said if it was this week, I could go. And then I'm like, well, maybe not, because I got that whole Heatwave thing on Sunday.
All right, fair enough.
I can't wait to watch all those people with names no human would actually have compete.
Right. There's a definite line in NXT between wrestlers that you have to take seriously and wrestlers that you shouldn't take seriously.
Yeah.
And it's all comes down to names.
Really wrestlers that were named by Mike and the Bots.
Yeah. Who's the guy?
No, it's not. No, they're just generic. Pulled out of the. They're not even fun wrestling names, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. Truck Pylon and Chunk Man Musk.
No, that would be incredible. But no, it's not. It's not fun. And it's most blatant in the women's division.
Yeah,
because that's when you have like failed cheerleader names, and those are the ones you don't take seriously. And then just sometimes they sound right, and those are the ones that tend to move up the card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't ever imagine getting behind. And mind you, she's done a hell of a good job when we've seen her in the ring. But I can't imagine a major push ever going to Ren Sinclair.
Yeah,
right. Who names their kid Ren?
Yeah. Name a wrestler who made it big with a bad name.
Ole Anderson.
No, come on.
No, Ole Anderson,
brother. He was he was legendary.
It's Ole, man.
He's grumpy.
Right. He's from Minnesota. Ole is like it's like Tommy up there. It's anyways.
What's your gimmick, Ole? I'm grumpy. No, that's who you are. That's who you are. What's your gimmick?
I punch people.
I'm surly. Yeah.
Not exactly high art, but effective. Anyways.
Are you over, Ole? No, but I'm the booker.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
Right.
How do you like your coffee, Mr. Anderson?
Next up. It's nobody. It's nobody. That's the end of Community Calendar.
We got nothing.
Firefly makes my point for me. Look at that over in the comments.
Hang on. But yeah, Rocky Maivia was kind of it was definitely a terrible ring name.
Yeah, and he didn't make it as Rocky Maivia, did he?
He made it as The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for Community Calendar. I'll find the button here eventually.
We're way ahead of time.
It you know what happened is that it was kind of a small favor from sent from up above. Nobody sent anything in to Community Calendar, so I didn't have anything new to add to Community Calendar because Lord knows there was no time to look. Remember, if you've got a local show that you want on the Community Calendar, we don't do a whole lot of homework for that. And when I say we, I mean me, because these guys are slugs and have nothing to do with production. What's on? Go ahead.
Clearly, we don't do a lot of homework for that.
No. What's on joemind@gmail.com. That's really the best place to send any kind of correspondence for the show, whether it's mailbag questions or again, Community Calendar. If you've just got something that you want to talk about, that's the place to go. Don't don't hit us up on instant message because frankly, it's all business accounts now. So and those access to them can be kind of spotty. So what's on joemind@gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of us to ensure that we will see it. and at least we'll at least get back to you through that method, if not on the show here directly.
So to recap, nobody sends Mike nothing, and nobody helped him with anything new for community calendar this week.
That's right. It's all your fault,
except for me at
right.
6:15 tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
That's correct. Yes, you did. Yeah. You did send at 6:15 tonight.
It's the first time I ever helped, and it was so late that it was actually more frustrating than helpful.
No. Again, thankfully I was still doing production work at that point, so it actually was helpful because it was when I was doing everything else. You picked a good week to be late.
Yeah, I was trying to be unhelpful, so I missed the target. I'll try harder next week.
I mean, we'd have punched you right in the face.
That's fine. It's not the
but
money.
It was because it was funny because Joe Colton sent something along too, and she sent that exactly as I was doing a slide for that event.
Nice.
Right.
Her timing's still perfect.
It was right there. I had just placed the photo on the slide, and Joe Colton from out of the blue just chimed in, "Hey, did you guys catch this?"
So she's not rusty at all.
Nope. And her microphone is muted.
I'm smelling a comeback, Mike.
Well, so I forget. Was it you in the top row or her in the top row? I don't remember.
I think it was her, wasn't it?
I think it
I
was.
got her spot legit, and not because I earned it. She abdicated her throne. So
no. What it was that it was we had this thing up in the top corner, and we didn't want to block out half of her head.
Right.
So I hadn't had the QR code up for a couple of weeks.
You can cut yourself on that,
right? Man. Be careful there. That's why you're in that spot, because you can take a shot on that corner, and there's no blood in your head to
right, because redheads have no souls, and
it's all calloused up there. Surveillance Port just sent a show for the calendar. He's helping. Well, I mean, not this week. You're helping next week. That's our next week is our entry into Cobra Convergence 8.
Ooh.
I don't know if we're doing anything special for it past saying it's Cobra Convergence 8. It'll be tough. We'll see. We'll try and get together a theme. I don't know.
Maybe we'll be auctioning off some rare action figures, huh? You never know.
Rare headless action figures.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, goodness. What do we do? We
go to the news.
Community calendar brought to you by Roma Collectibles. Visit them at Roma Collectibles, the toy store in Springfield, Ohio. They are closed Monday and Tuesday. Why? To prepare for watching What's on Joe Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 7, Sunday, 12 to 5. Always buying, always selling, always wheeling, always dealing. Remember, don't make no direct eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron may be infirmed, but he is lightning quick on that scooter, and he will still bite you.
I mean, honestly, if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known. He was flying around at that.
Yeah.
I was so impressed. Yeah.
Scooter was really not in play when he was at the booth.
I only saw him on it once, and that's when he was over by us.
Right.
So I think it was a taunt.
Right. It was just he was just rolling in to have it there.
Yeah. It was. I don't even remember this kid's name. It was like the jerk kid in Bend, Oregon, the only kid I knew who had the flag, who would bring Keel Hall to school as like proof of street cred, right?
Right.
And I'm like, that's great, kid, but nobody likes you and we won't play with you, even though you're the only one with a flag.
That was the same thing in my town, man. The jerk kid was the only kid with the flag, and he had like army builders and like he had all kinds of stuff. And nobody wanted to mess with him because he was such a little butthole most of the time.
That's it. It's the kind of kid they tie a pork chop to get the dog to play with him.
Right.
Nobody likes that kid.
No, he was generally okay, and then until you started, like, if he hung around, if there was a group and he'd hang around for an hour, he was fine. And then after that hour, he'd start to get bored and do something to just mess with everybody. So nobody liked him.
No, be alone.
You go off with yourself.
Yeah.
Go off.
Go play solitaire. And back then, that meant get out a deck of cards.
Zaymont CGC asks, does Roma Collectibles visit Kentucky Joe Fest? I think so. I can't promise you that one. I'd have to double check their calendar. I don't know. I believe so, because that's pretty close for them too. It's 2 hours from a slightly different direction than it is for Rob and I.
Mm-hmm.
So but anyways, it's time for the news. I really got to clean out the news button, the buttons. My God.
I was halfway through saying, apparently not.
First news item.
Do.
Hey, if you pledged the Dragonfly this week, you got this email telling you that there's a delay. Of course, this isn't news, despite what the people online are liking to scream about the last 24 hours, because Lenny told you 3 weeks ago. So I don't know what to tell you guys. The shock should have set in by now. Now it's just official. But yeah, so expect your Dragonfly towards the end of the year instead of this summer. That's fine. It gives me a chance to figure out where to put the damn thing. Because that hadn't been done at this point.
I don't have my calendar marked for when anything is supposed to arrive, right? It'll get here when it gets here. So this is not world changing for me. But from a company perspective, I mean, what causes a minimum 3-month delay, right? If you're holding up end of August at the end of the summer timeline that was suggested by Hasbro Pulse, now you're talking December. It's a 3-month delay. So I'm not sure what something caused that, but I'm not sure what it is.
Right. But anyways, there are some way overreactions going on out there, and I'm just tired of it all. That's why I don't mess around in Facebook groups anymore.
It'll get here when it gets here.
Right. Just relax. You paid $300. You want it to be good. So let's let them give it a chance to be good.
I mean, it's not like I just spent all week on my Lady J Copilot custom. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, right. So, yeah, just ignore the drama. Just stop feeding it. Stop trying to argue with it. Just let them shout into the void and get tired and stop.
I mean, no, it's okay to be really upset because this is the first toy that ever got delayed ever in the history of toys.
Right. Andrew Gaugen, cut to Lenny fighting on the docks in China, trying to load G.I. Joe product on the ships. I see him just gorilla press slamming guys.
Right.
And,
probably fighting with a katana.
Right.
People dying left and right with no blood anywhere.
I think he's going full race banner and throwing barrels at them.
Right. Just throwing stuff at other stuff.
If anybody has met Lenny in person, dude, he is a gorilla.
Right. He would fit right in on our podcast because he's burly.
Yeah, he could whip some ass, let me tell you, if he wanted to. But he's a super nice guy. But yeah, right. He was half of the Road Warriors with Tony for Halloween one Christmas. He was the big half.
Right, of course.
The Road Warriors. So yeah.
So we'll have to enlist Lenny when he is inexplicably fired in a year and a half.
Firefly with the line. Lenny throwing boxes.
Lenny throwing boxes at people, double dragon style.
Right.
Surveillance sport with Emily appears out of nowhere with a trident.
I don't think Lenny's throwing boxes because everybody knows double dragon is just the back elbow. Can't be stopped. Or when you grab the guy by the ears and give him the dubita to the head with the knee, dubita, and then the judo throw. Oh man.
Oh, God. Next news item. Right. Hey, we got some images of this guy. And he's pretty cool, even if G.I. Joe the movie is not your jam. And Lord knows I understand it if it's not. This is pretty well done. Ragtime Rob, you didn't get to talk much on Dragonfly, so I'll throw it to you here. What are your feelings on the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive G.I. Joe Classified half transformed was a man Cobra Commander?
I think this is kind of the perfect type of exclusive. It's something that's, like kind of really specific to a certain thing. There are some people who may want it, save them from customizing or whatever. But it's not a collection breaker. If you don't want this, you're not going to go, wow, I need a Cobra Commander. No, it's Cobra Commander in a way he appeared at the end of a cartoon, so.
It's Cobra Commander in a state of distress.
Yeah.
Mark Weber.
It's a perfect type of exclusive. Yeah. It's there if you want it, but if you don't,
Mark Weber, your thoughts?
I mean, I think Rob's dead on here, right? I always thought exclusives should be something kind of rare, kind of kitschy. Can be if you're going to do goofy, do it as an exclusive. And Cobra Law's the most polarizing part of modern G.I. Joe lore, right? From Real American Hero on. Pretty much splits the community in half. Half love it, half hate it. So it's perfect for a Comic-Con exclusive. And I'm not even going to comment on it appears to be broken somewhere there above the belly button. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
look, man, he's got the really defined snake belly, so it kind of works.
It still looks like crap, but hey,
but it works better than, say, Duke
or Bazooka. Bazooka's the archetype, man. Bazooka's always going to be the worst, but I got no problem with this. Good for them. Good pick. Do I need it? Probably not.
Yeah, everybody at Joefest did get to see the return of Mark's brutal chest cut button-down shirt.
Yeah. Somebody was like, how do you wash that? And I'm like, it's the second time I've worn it. Yeah. The first time I wore it for 2 hours in my home. So we're good. Now, long term, I don't know.
We shot paintballs at him, but he dodged. So
yeah. There was some Matrix shit going on there. It was pretty
awesome.
Awesome.
He had that ratcheted upper torso just flipping back and forth. It was pretty nuts.
I was so articulated. It was amazing.
And here's really the killer for me is Little Billy Snake Boy. Little Billy Snake Boy may get me to buy this thing. Because that's awesome, frankly. I love that little guy. He's incredible.
Roadblock not included.
No, roadblock not included, but you gotta make the picture, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, surveillance port. If that figure isn't the itching to be a prop and the eventual smack I get from my wife, then I don't know what is. And that really sums it up right there. But well done. Again, it's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, available at San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, limited quantities will be available on the Hasbro Pulse website. We will get more details on how they are making this available in the coming weeks and days. They have listed the price at $39.99, which is pretty good for what you're getting there.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, a couple interchangeable heads. You got a few sets of hands. You got the hairdryer pistol. He's got his knife. He's got his backpack thingy to hold the pistol. And he's got Little Billy Snake Boy. So what else do you need? Little Billy Snake Boy on his own, I'd pay $20 for. So
you might be able to do that online too.
Right.
A week after Comic-Con, just saying.
Right. Give it time. I have a feeling more people are going to keep Little Billy Snake Boy than keep the figure itself.
Could be.
That's my hunch on this one. Mark Weber, how do you react to the people that complain that they are completists and hate exclusives?
I mean, these are even available a little bit on the Pulse website, right? Like everybody freaks out when something sells out early or when something's limited, but has anything really been hard? I mean, hard to find in this entire line? I mean, maybe at first, but they've done a pretty good job of making rare things available later on, right?
Yeah,
So,
I would say they're probably went a little short on Serpentor.
okay.
That's the feeling that I have, but he's probably the only one.
And I could see them saying, we don't want to be stuck with these, right? Better to be. Right. It used to be something repeated in the McFarlane hallways all the time was better to make 10 too few than 1 too many.
Right.
The idea that rarity is not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, you left some money on the table, but people want to believe, true or not, that their collection is worth something or worth more than they paid for it. So right. The occasional hard to find thing is not necessarily a bad thing. You don't want to make it so hard to find that you break collectors, but a little scarcity isn't always a bad thing for a line. So
yeah, the Cobra Island Cobra Troopers, okay, I'll concede on that one too. They were a little short, but
I think those are the carded ones he's talking about. If they're the retro.
Maybe, I don't know.
I guarantee you it's not the last time you'll see that trooper, right? Or a slight variation.
They'll be out there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, my word for the completists is if you're really a completist, open your wallet and shut up.
Yeah, go get it.
It's there for you.
I'm a completist, but only if it's easy and at regular retail price. Well,
then you're not much of a completist.
That's it.
Do you have an item about the Nemesis Immortal? Or did we do that already?
Didn't we talk about him before?
I believe we touched on him before we left. Yes.
I was just going to say, because the packaging for them for this and for the Cobra Commander and the Nemesis Immortal kind of match up. I'm betting that just like the last couple of years, Nemesis Enforcer might be the PulseCon.
It kind of feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like with last year, they paired up the Chuckles and the Crimson 3-pack. And then the year before it was Mindbender and Serpentor. So that's yeah. So right, that's a good when they announce later, when they talk about San Diego, I'm sure we'll get more details on when Nemesis Immortal is how he'll be made available.
Didn't he just die in the comics? Spoiler.
He's not in good shape. You can never say dead with guys like that. But
you mean guys with immortal in their name,
right? So
yeah, fair.
So we'll hold off on the D word,
right?
But he when last we saw him, he was not in particularly good shape. No,
not doing good.
Not doing well.
Perhaps he got better.
So right? Yeah. Again, I don't mean to trounce on everybody's feelings here, but I'm just so tired of having to sift through online backlash over everything to bring the news that I feel the need to speak out against it. Michael Gene Fleming notes he went into a coma.
Oh,
so
well, I hope he'll be A-okay.
There you go, Mark. Probably by the end of the movie, he'll be A-okay.
No, here's an update from Rexship 85. Apparently got turned into a nude. We'll go better.
Oh, good Lord. So that's that for Hasbro's San Diego classified offering. Next news item. Elsewhere in G.I. Joe world, I think this was happening when we were getting together for Joefest. Mezco Toys announced as part of their Mezco Con event this entry in the 1/12 collective collection. It is Commando Snake Eyes, and he looks pretty freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Mezco ain't messing around with their selections. You can see there it costs $112. Does require signature upon delivery. It's got cloth uniform, 10 interchangeable hands, and 1 metric ton of accessories. It is just, It was far too much to put together in 10 minutes of time for slides. But I encourage you all to get to mezcotoys.com just to check this out. Again, $112 is well out of my budget, so I'm not buying one either. But if it is, you need to check this guy out. If you're a Snake Eyes guy, this might be your very best Snake Eyes. Jake Rose asks, is he really going commando? I did not see underwear listed on his table of contents. So, yeah.
If he wasn't, you'd see the underwear lines. I'm pretty sure. So
right, there's no panty lines on that guy. It's smooth. So probably so. But he's pretty incredible, and I don't really gush over the Mezco stuff because I know I'm not buying it, but this one's really neat. So go ahead and check that one out.
That triple blast effect is outstanding.
Yeah, it really is.
Right? Yeah. Well, now again, I'm not swimming in this pool, but I can respect how good it looks. That's a good looking thing.
Racktime Rob, as our senior Snake Eyes correspondent, how do you feel?
This is a very good looking figure, but I don't know if I got $112 floating around.
All right, that's maybe a one-time. This is going to be the only Joe I have kind of purchase, but
yeah.
That left hand looks like it needs a thwip sound effect. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
Well, he's got 5 different ones, so I'm sure that there's other sound effects for those other hands as well.
Probably true. Hopefully, there's a crack-a-thoom hand because I mean, that's like world ending, right? That's a big one.
There's not, but there is a thung.
That's
and I don't know what you do with a thung, but there it is.
But crack-a-thoom is pretty much reserved for Black Bolt speaking or Galactus farting. So either the two.
The devourer of the worlds has gas.
I mean, he eats planets, man. It got to be hard to digest.
Right? I mean, he's probably taken enough of the earth to have digested a couple of Taco Bells.
Right?
Right?
To me, my herald, and bring the Lysol Cosmic.
Right? I mean, he got a couple of KFCs in there. He is.
I mean,
oh my.
Salute to whoever at Taco Bell said, what we really need are Cheez-Its inside of our burritos. Yes, that's absolutely the missing ingredient. Good for you, brother.
Look, man, Cheez-Its are awesome. So a big Cheez-It is more awesome, isn't it?
I guess, but do you have to wrap it in Taco Bell?
Look,
it feels like you're crossing the streams a little bit, man.
Look, man, Taco Bell is the same 7 ingredients over and over and over again. Don't crap on them when they figure out an 8th ingredient.
I'm just saying, maybe they should have stayed in their lane, right? I don't know.
Let them experiment.
What's your new ingredient? Is it fresh cilantro? No. Is it bell peppers? No. Is it Cheez-Its? You're goddamn right.
It's not Cheez-Its. It's one
giant
big Cheez-It.
Yeah, fair.
The Cheez-It the size of a dinner plate.
Right? Wreckship notes that don't forget all the White Castle Crystal Burgers he'd be eating too. You know, White Castle does not do that to me. But Kentucky Fried Chicken, I may as well just turn around, throw it directly into the toilet. Just cut out the middleman. Just
a buddy from New York I met at Arizona State, and he said the key to White Castle is to eat them in the car on the drive home and undo your belt. He said he would undo his belt before he started eating because he knew he was going to get there anyway.
Right. You might as well, right? But again, they've never done that to me.
Man, you got it. So everybody has a superpower, Mike.
Mine is Iron Gut. Yeah.
You're
White Castle.
White Castle. That's pretty good.
Iron Gut. Just KFC, man. KFC is the one. And just regular. Extra crispy does not affect me that way, but regular. Just throw it right in the toilet. Cut out the middleman.
Mine is my Burger King onion rings. Holy smokes. And I love them. But matter of fact, one time we were living in DC, pre-kids, Michelle went away for a whole weekend. And the onions stay with me, right? So I know if I eat onion rings, I need to give Michelle at least 24 hours of space. And I dropped her off at the airport. On the way home, I got a large. It was like a 44-ounce cup of onion rings. And I ate every bit of them and spent the rest of the weekend in absolute agony. It was so dumb. But whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm a bachelor this weekend.
I'm used to have
the
plans.
Wild life. Give me that large onion ring. Oh
no.
It was so bad. Oh man.
Andrew Gaugen giving a positive review for the Cheez-It Crunch Wrap.
The way that's written makes it sound like a song. It's the Crunch Wrap, yo.
Give it time.
Yeah.
Give it time. Next news item.
Crunch wrap.
Hey, in old news, this funded.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right.
I was a little worried.
We were all biting our fingernails on this one.
The famous "What's on Joe Mind" push.
Right.
We managed to get this over the finish line.
Right. We did our pushing before the first 6 minutes. But $3,761,253 on the final tally there. So congratulations to the folk at Skybound for realizing what everyone else has known for several years now, that we get out and back quality crowdfunding projects because G.I. Joe needs more of a mass retail presence, frankly. Not enough one out there.
If you're sitting at home going, I don't have a 50-pound book that's almost impossible to open, you're in luck.
Right. If you haven't gotten Carson's book yet, then Skybound is here to give you another try at deadlifting your reading material.
There you go.
But I did back it. I did back it because I think I'm getting out of the single issues of G.I. Joe game, right? It's just no more. No, I don't. No more. People are crazy with what they're asking on those comics these days.
Don't you have a whole run though?
No.
No, I thought. What about Rack Time Rob?
I
have the run of the trade paperbacks. I don't have all the individual issues.
So I am the major domo. I am the modern day Maharaja of single issue G.I. Joe comics.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'd give myself more respect.
I think I have doubles of issue 154, which makes me something of a weirdo. But because
that's on purpose?
No.
Okay.
No, it was something that back a number of years ago, it was in a box. It was $1, and so I just picked it up.
Okay.
And now that one's one of the more valuable ones because there aren't that many of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere packed in storage.
Readership was sort of headed in a direction there at the end. Yeah.
It's not a very good comic book. It's passable, but it's not a great comic book.
No, it stinks.
It's yeah.
That's the only reason that I've been lukewarm on this thing, and I haven't been pooping on it, I don't think.
No.
Is that I have the original issues. So this isn't necessary for my collection. But if you don't, yeah, absolutely. Get on this. You bet.
Yeah, I can now be done buying Marvel's Real American Hero run.
Yeah. Whatever you Morlocks want to do.
Yeah, Jeff Butler notes that's the Roadblock as Passenger 57 issue. That is correct.
Didn't they fill in with a bunch of basically bottle issues there at the end?
There were a couple issues before the last one. There were some fill-ins, yeah.
Okay.
154 was a Roadblock spotlight. 153 was a Scarlet spotlight. And I think 152 was another. I think 152 was also not written by Larry Hama.
Mm.
But yeah, his last one was 151 until like 155. So
right, he had a few months off.
Was Elizabeth Hurley in issue 154?
No.
She was in Passenger 57. That's all I remember about it. And always bet on black.
I'll take Roadblock over Snipes any day.
Yeah. He was Willie Mays Hayes.
I get you. But how much better would that have been if Roadblock was there?
Yeah. I kind of like that Wesley Snipes is getting a career renaissance by making fun of the new Blade movie that's probably not actually going to happen. Because especially the first one, his Blade movies kind of worked.
He was in the Coming to America sequel, which I don't know if you saw it. It was okay, but he was great in it.
Okay. Yeah. He was
great.
Scenery like crazy.
Just ripping him off with his teeth and gnashing it on camera. He was great. And so I think that's what sparked him popping up in more stuff lately.
I'm still mad he didn't come back for Major League 2. No offense to Omar Epps.
Right. Fair enough. Look, man, he was getting too much money at that point. You got to shell out.
Omar Epps, star also of Black Thunder and White Lightning with Jesse the Body Ventura. Fine film.
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm just letting that. I'm not going into that. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know. I'm out.
It's a deep cut, but trust me,
Very deep.
It was funny.
Very deep. Look, man, if you're sneaking up a garbage pop culture reference past me, you got a deep cut.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Two career highlights.
I looked up issue 152.
What's that?
And that was the 30th anniversary one. It's basically the Joe Colton origin story.
Okay.
According to that, Larry did write that one. So
okay. All right. Okay. So next news item. Unless there's any more serious Skybound discussion, because wow, I'm talked out on this one.
No, it's good for them. And anything, even like I'm not buying it, right? But anything that's good for the brand is, guess what? Good for the brand. So, hallelujah, good for you.
Skybound made it official. They announced the premiere of G.I. Joe #1. That has happened in November 13 of this year. So just a few scant months away. I know it feels like it's still March, but no, it's July. So this is only 3 months away. We've got a veritable who's who of the first couple miniseries on the screen there, but there's a couple of guys that we don't recognize.
No, there's some who's that mixed in.
Right. Who do you figure the dude with the shotgun is, Mark?
Some people have said they think it's working in the dude from the Transformers movie who gets recruited to G.I. Joe at the very end. Maybe that's him aged up a little bit. Could be. He looks like he might be the official government liaison to the team, right?
Right.
Okay. Look. New characters, people. That's what this brand and Transformers were built on in the 80s. So,
right.
New characters is exciting. Not as exciting as Mercer playing a starring role. I know Mike's happy about that.
Look, man, I'm all about Mercer if you give him a real story. but that was just one that did not work for me.
I like that he and Cobra Commander, if you zoomed out, they're actually standing on the same thing.
Right.
That's just how big he is.
Yeah.
He's a burly son of a gun.
I mean, if you can find this image online all over the place, but if you zoomed out, that's a robot's hand there in the upper left. That clutch is sitting on Hound, I think.
Right.
There's an Autobot logo right below Duke.
Yeah, I saw some folks complaining about how, there's robots on the cover already. G.I. Joe be playing second fit. Are you not seeing the same image that we're seeing?
Right.
They've kind of wiped out whoever it is on who's probably Hound. But yeah.
Or a really dirty swindle. We'll see.
Yes. Surveillance Port notes that the guy with the shotgun is Giancarlo Esposito.
He's on the wrong side.
to which I say, oh shit.
Right. Yeah, he's gonna straighten his tie and then die. That's how it works.
I love Giancarlo Esposito.
No, he's great. He's great. But who's the blonde? Who's the blonde Cobra?
That's my other question. What do you guys think going on there?
Brand new. I hope she's brand new with no ties to anybody, not Scrap Iron's sister or somebody's former roommate. Or can't we just have new people?
Right.
It's new. That's it. Same thing as bulletproof vest suit guy with the shotgun. I hope he's brand new. Ain't nothing wrong with brand new.
God forbid.
Actually, Surveillance Sports got the line here. He knows who the blonde Cobra girl is.
That's Chuckles Undercover.
He's good.
There you go.
He's real good.
He's way undercover.
Yeah.
He's damn good.
And G.I. Joe Baroness looks trustworthy.
Right.
I'd trust her to cover my 6. You bet.
Right. Greg Augustin notes that Destro solicits mention Chameleon, so maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Did they lose the Baroness name again?
No, she's just working for the other team right now.
Jeff Butler says, who are the new characters? Find out in Operation Dirty Swindle.
Dirty Swindle. Nothing wrong with that.
I forget on the whole big picture. Is there only one Crimson Twin?
No, the other one's just
okay, he's just off. Okay.
Standing in Megatron's hand or whoever that is.
Right. And Viper Scout notes that new does not equal dead. Just ask Akiko.
That's right.
So I'm enthused. I'm happy to see something new happening in G.I. Joe for a change. Again, I'm on the record for several years as wanting my chocolate separate from my peanut butter. I did not want Transformers in my G.I. Joe universe, but you know something? This has been handled okay to this point, and I'm anxious to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's working so far, but where the rubber meets the road is when they actually fight, right?
Right.
Because you've got to give me a compelling reason to believe that the Joes can take down a full-on Transformer in war mode. And Duke's got to give Liefeld some of them those pouches back. I mean, come on, dude. That's a lot. Because I know you've got, extra magazines, you got shark repellent, you got cell phone, you got a wallet, but that's a lot.
Maybe it's Chewbacca's bandolier.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But that is happening November 13. That is, I think, just after all these other miniseries are scheduled to end. Rack time, Rob?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Did the last issue of Larry's comic come out? Because I know it was delayed. I went in day of, and they were like, "We don't know."
It did pop up the next week.
All right, then I got to go back.
Yep.
Tomorrow there will be new books tomorrow.
There will, because that includes next news item. Scarlet number 2 is happening.
Oh, good! It's a reflection in the blade and a face cut in half. Two of my favorite comic cover tropes.
You stop. That's the creative team of Kelly Thompson, Marco Ferrari, and Lee Loffridge. Rated M for Magenta. That is available tomorrow. It's been a month. What do you guys think of Scarlet 1?
I liked it.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't mind the you can't say they're retconning it because they're starting all over, right?
Right.
So
absolutely.
The fact that G and Jinx were BFFs, okay, that's cool. So I got no problem with it whatsoever. Scarlet's great. Scarlet's kind of like R2D2, right? She's not very many people's number one favorite, but she's in everybody's top 10, right?
R2D2 is my favorite.
He's your favorite in all of Star Wars.
He is the foul-mouthed sailor of Star Wars, yes.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, if you gave him subtitles, holy smokes.
Right? That's not a PG movie anymore.
All right. So you're the R2D2 guy.
I am a R2D2 guy. We're out there.
Okay. What do you think about Ghostbusters?
Love it.
Is it your favorite property?
No.
That's right. It's nobody's favorite property.
Nope. I know the guy. I know the exception that proves the rule.
You have one guy.
I got one. Look, it's more guys than you got.
It's like the one guy who gives you a bad review on eBay, right? Or the guy who gives you 4 stars, gives the Uber driver 4 stars, and means he'll never be 5.0 ever again because there'll always be that one.
The trick is with eBay is to wait so long to leave your own feedback that nobody remembers what you bought.
Mm.
That's been my trick.
Look at Bart in the comments hating on Scarlet.
Oh man,
Scarlet's not in his top 50. Well, Bart's banned.
Whoa,
Bart's out.
He's real tall though. We met him in person, right?
That's true. He is burly enough to be as part of the show.
He could just reach right in and start choking you. From Pennsylvania. It's a good move. It's his forced choke, as in he chokes you forcefully.
Danny of our time named his daughter Scarlet. So welcome to the show, by the way. Good to have you.
Not in my top 50.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Oof. I mean, if you're just basing it on figures, I totally get that because Scarlet didn't have a good figure until the retro classified Scarlet, right?
Last month, yeah,
right. So I get that. Like if that's all you were basing it on, okay, I'm totally with you.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's a little. But whatever. You're there, Lord knows there's 500 something Joes, so not in the top 10%. Okay, whatever.
I think I put Scarlet in like one of those Transformer multi-packs, and she was pretty good. I had to kit bash the hell out of her, but
Right. That one was okay. I
Yeah.
dare say that between that one and the Renegades one, we're probably first place before last month.
yeah, make a Scarlet with no new tooling. Okay. do
Just
my
a little-
best. Thank God it's a low bar. It'll be one of the best Scarlets ever.
Right. Let's go to work. But yeah, so there you go. Scarlet happening next month. Next news item.
Just don't do the reflection in the blade anymore. Played out. Done.
It's an image book, Mark. There's 14 variant covers. You can get a
Don't make that one of them. And at least it's just her face. But the half and half face off cover, done. No more.
I tend to agree.
All right, see? Welcome home.
I agree. I just,
Mike, it would save us so much more time if you just agree with me more.
Sometimes you just go off on a tangent, so I downplay these things.
I am tangential. That's
right.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm trying to keep the show moving along.
By the way, do.
Sticking with Skybound, Cobra Commander trade paperback. I think it got delayed because it's listed again on the Image website for July 10th. So if you were looking for this one, chin up. You're not crazy. It'll be out there again for you next week.
Don't need it. Got the single issues.
This
is the theme.
Until Skybound does a Kickstarter in about 20 years, collecting all these, I'll hang on to the singles there.
Exactly.
Next news item.
Do.
Some other Skybound bits. Also, July 10 is Transformers 10. And then July 17, we get our run on Joe titles again with Destro number 2 and Real American Hero 308.
Destro 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
As opposed to Destro 2, The Quickening.
Right? That's a good call.
Destro 2, The Wrath of Khan.
That'd be a good one. The Wrath of Serpentor Khan, right?
Sure.
Look, out of those three movies, Wrath of Khan's the clear winner.
Absolutely. I remember walking out of the first Star Trek movie as a kid, just going, "Wow, that kind of sucked." I had that in Megaforce, where a lot of stuff happened, but all of it was bad.
Right.
Yeah.
My brother and I were so pumped for Megaforce. And I believe it was the first movie my parents didn't go to. They let like 8-year-old Mark and 11-year-old Mike just sitting there by ourselves. And then they got lunch and picked us up afterwards. It was a big moment in the Weber family. And we were pumped up, man. The trailers looked amazing.
They were pumped up too because they looked at it. Boy, that looks stupid.
Yeah, they were like, nah.
What movie was that for us, Rob, at roughly the same ages? Because we had that little movie house that was right next to the old school that you used to go to. And I know we was it Clue?
No, Karate Kid Part 2?
Maybe you were the older one, so I'll leave it to your.
I think we went to that, and then Mom dragged Jimmy and Katie into the My Little Pony movie. Oof. I remember the look on Jimmy's face, like, "Can I go with you?"
So Megaforce was 82. So I'm 9 and Mike's 12.
All right.
Or maybe I'm 8 and he's 11.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Either way, we both walked out of it as kids and went, "Man, that sucked."
Meanwhile, Bart's going to sing the praises of Megaforce, but not Scarlet. So okay. Yeah.
Well,
litmus test.
Bart's popularity here is dropping suddenly.
Litmus test. Look,
it was on a high after Joefest. It's great meeting him.
Back in the day, Gary and Justin and I did a watch along with Megaforce. Ooh. That you can get out of the audio archives at What's on Joe Mind, wherever you get your podcasts. So check that one out if you're a Megaforce fan. Just hit play, and you will hear Gary and Justin and myself getting through the Barry Bostwick classic.
Trudging through Megaforce.
Let me give you my honest reaction to that news. Yeah.
A Hal Needham production.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful movie, really. I love it because it's not good. It hits that cheese button hard, so I'm good with it.
These not words.
I loved Megaforce, although not because it was cool. I love Megaforce ironically. Next news item.
Rocket bike.
Hey, Hyatt Toys put out some more pictures.
Yeah, they did.
Right. So again, Dusty's out there. You can check it out for yourself. Retail prices for about $25. Release is a quote Q1 of 2025. And there's the editor's note there. I will go back to trying on Haya announcements when they release figures. I'm not. This might be the last Haya figure you see on What's on Joe Mind until they actually put out a figure. We might be drawing our line in the sand.
No, I think that's good because they obviously ran out of eye black, right? Like
that said, I think Dusty looks pretty good.
He does with the helmet on. He probably looks
right.
fine.
Right. I mean, theoretically, provided this figure eventually comes to exist, this one will look okay. I got nothing against Dusty itself here, but most of the promo shots don't quite know what to do with the goggles, so they look a little dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took the one that had all the bits laid out, because again, I think they're trying to model them after the classified stuff. But
still looking for my Storm Shadow. Had no luck at Joefest.
Right, nowhere. I even asked a couple spots for you if they had even gotten a whiff of seeing those out, and the dealers looked back at me like, nope.
Nobody has it. Yeah. All right, fine.
Surveillance Sports notes this represents Haya's 20th G.I. Joe NFT.
A solid line right there.
That's good. That's good work.
Yep.
Bart says next you're going to say you don't like Buckaroo Banzai. I have not seen it in its entirety, so it would not be a fair judgment for you to make. I enjoyed what I saw because again, it's pretty silly, but I can't say that I like or dislike.
I think I have to see it again to try and make sense of it.
I like Bart split the difference between two very different movies, Buckaroo Banzai and Buckaroo Bonsai, starring Diana Davis. So
she'd be up for that movie.
Oh yeah, she'd kick ass.
Bart has Ice Pirates on DVD.
Wow,
loves it. Judge me, I don't care. I even have Midnight Madness on DVD. That's two movies I can get behind.
There's nothing wrong with Ice Pirates. Why'd you make the robot black? Because I wanted them to be perfect. Great line.
Right. No, I can get behind both those movies. It's been ages since I've seen either one of them, so don't judge me. But
I love it when the dirtbag hero first meets the princess and she's in suspended animation but lying flat, and he immediately looks down her shirt.
Right. It's only in the 80s.
That's it.
Robert, you rogue.
Next news item.
Robot jocks.
Super 7 put out some images today. Gotta love Tuesday afternoon news drops, you bastards. But they've released images of their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. They're going to be available exclusively to Comic-Con attendees at the Super 7 booth 2543 from July 24 through 28. And then limited quantities available to all fans afterwards on super7.com starting July 29. And, this is a nice title, a nice tile and all, but there's no pictures on there. So let's take a look at them instead. First up, we got this reaction ash can version of Snake Eyes with a card back for the ash can version of G.I. Joe 21. Okay, looks neat and not something I need for my collection. Viper Scout has booth, so no pop-up store. I don't know. Keep an eye out for them in the coming days and weeks. I'm sure we'll know more. Those pop-up stores had to be expensive, so
yeah,
I'm sure after a year where they let go about 30% of their staff, they may not want to take that cost on. But they had a nice setup at Joefest. We'll get to that in a minute. Not that that's the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. anyways, Mark Weber, what do you think here?
I need 2 of these so I can get a full ass, because this is the most half-ass figure I've ever seen in my life. Jesus. Ashcan comics are because you don't have enough money to get them colored, right?
Ash cans are normally black and white things that they normally just put out there to secure a trademark. They're not even made for. There's something you file with,
They're not cool. They're not a thing. They shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is rotten. 5 points of articulation and no points for creativity. This thing. Honestly, I didn't expect to break Mike, but this is exactly what you should make. You remember earlier when Rob said this is what you should make for a San Diego exclusive? This isn't what you should make for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This thing just flat out sucks. That's it. Who wants this?
Dude, when you just came out with both barrels. I'm laughing at the presentation more than the material.
Right?
I need 2 of these so I can have a whole ass. I was not prepared. I was not ready.
Once in a while, man, I'll throw you a deuce just like that. You don't see it coming. This is awful, right? And wrapping it in 21 doesn't make it cool.
TC, YouTube should add a second like button. I agree.
Dude, that's high praise right there. I'll take that.
Speaking of which, all of you hit the first like button for crying out loud. All we ask for is clicks, damn it.
Hey, JoeFed84 has a good comment, except he misspelled really. Right?
That is pretty bad.
No, it's really bad. Who wants this? It's a thing. Ashcan has nothing to do with this issue or with the line. It's like just taking 2 things and mashing them together because you let the creative guy in charge of G.I. Joe go, right?
Oh,
shame on you. This is awful.
Rob, can you top that?
No.
All right, moving on. Next
moving
bit
on.
Is the Cobra Mortal from the Ultimates line. Rob, we'll start with you because I don't want to potentially unleash the beast right away. Get some discussion in here. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I know he's a foreign variant. I forget from where.
I believe Argentina.
Argentina, great.
Yeah, he's fine. If you like Mortal, you're gonna like this.
Again, good thing for a an exclusive.
Right.
Steve Young's got it perfect.
Wait, let me get him. There we go. Isn't that Ultraman?
Yes, he comes in a 2-pack with Princess Dragon Mom. It's
right.
Gonna be amazing.
Oh my goodness. Viper Scout asks, is that vac metal? I don't believe so. I think it is paint. But Mark Weber, everyone take cover. What do you think, Mark?
Dude, seriously, I got no problem with this. This is the kind of thing you're supposed to do at Comic-Con. It's funky. You wouldn't sell a lot of them at regular retail. It certainly grabs the eye, right? So do I need it? No. But there are people who do. And for what this figure was originally, this is a really good version of it at a scale you're not going to see him in very often. So I got no problem with this. So don't go painting me a Super 7 hater, right? I only hate the stuff they do that looks like crap.
Right.
Yeah.
This looks great. Good for them. Perfect place to do it.
Oh,
knock yourself out. And I didn't even know this guy existed until the early days of eBay, and he was already crazy expensive.
Right.
So I never needed this guy, never hunted him down, never paid the serious coin it would have taken to acquire one. But
right.
Hey,
it's an investment at this point if you're looking to get into the South American Joes.
Yeah, but if you want to get this guy, now you can for $40 or whatever, or $50, whatever. Cool. Well done.
Probably more like 60 to 70. They didn't give us prices on their
I think I saw one
yet.
where he was going for 55, like the normal.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good.
So if you do like a grade point average, if you do this guy and the snake eyes, it's still an F. Because that's how big the suck is on that snake eyes.
That's just a 0, huh?
I give this guy.
That snake eyes is. We got a whole bunch of these from the factory that were screwed up. Let's try and sell them anyway.
Right. So this one is this one gets a B or maybe a B+ for what it is for a Comic-Con exclusive, and Snake Eyes gets the finger. Right. Makes me wish I had more hands.
I need 2 of these so I can have the whole ass.
That's it.
The halfiest of half-assing.
Yep. He might be a quarter ass. That's how weak that effort was.
Yeah. It's half a half.
You might need to get 2 to get half-ass.
You know, I put him first because I figured it would generate the least discussion. But my goodness, that was a home run. I should have put him last.
See?
And then to finish up, here's Zartan. He is in his cloak and with accessories pertaining to the Sunbow episode Jungle Trap, which is kind of neat. You're basically paying your $55 for some extra stuff. But again, that's an exclusive. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not getting my money, but
I need 12. I need 12 of them to lead the Undertaker to the ring.
His army of druids?
Yes. Because everybody knows druids are evil.
Right.
But this is boring.
Yeah, it's okay. If you're really a fan of Jungle Trap, then there you go.
Normally, Super 7's done a really good job of coloring in the lines and finding the things that never got made that would resonate with collectors, but sometimes it's too deep a cut, and I hope they didn't make a whole lot of these.
Right. So whereas I like Mortal because I think that fills a need. I like the ones they did last year with the variant versions of Baroness and Destro. I thought those were pretty cool. For exclusives, but this year's except for Mortal, they leave me pretty cold.
Yeah.
Give me 2 of them. I need the whole ass.
Sounds like a t-shirt.
Oh, I think so. And speaking of which, if you visit the swag shop on TeePublic, that big 35% off sale is running through the 7th.
Ooh.
So all the way through the long holiday weekend, starting today, going all the way through the 7th. We have no control over that sort of thing, but figure we'd let you know. You want to spend some money on a What's on Joe Mind t-shirt. They're right there for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh, I need a moment. I still need a moment to just recover, be back to normal. Next.
Wait a minute. Danny of our time has given me a title I don't know if I want.
Right. Divider of asses.
I mean, you just.
Well, no, I mean, he was buying 2 of them, so I think he would be combining them.
You just
right.
Divider of asses.
You just split them right down the middle, right? That's pretty
Either way, I don't think you want the title, but
right. I mean, combiner of asses is.
I'm gonna stick with Honcho for now, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
The Honcho.
The Honcho, yeah. Mr. Honcho to you, please. Dr. Honcho. I didn't spend 8 years in college to be called Mr.
I didn't spend
Honcho.
6 years in Honcho Medical School to be called Mr. Honcho. Oh. Firefly says that he felt like a doofus at the table with everybody without a shirt. Don't be like me, buy a tee. There you go. Can we ask for more? Can we ask for a better plug? No, we cannot.
He fit right in. Everybody behind the table was a doofus too. So
right,
Yeah.
it just right there.
if we could have got a 5th doofus, we could have formed Voltron. Would have been incredible.
Well, we had camera jockey Jamie. So
oh, that's right. He was filming though. He would have had to put the camera down.
he wasn't filming nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen the memory card. He stopped filming because he got stuck in the booth with the rest of us. People that didn't watch the show but wanted to talk to us thought he was part of the show, and he just played along.
Better than explaining it, right?
Right. I mean, Jamie technically is a former host of the fantasy football show.
Yeah, so there you go.
So he you know,
The beloved.
he has some bona fides.
He's on the team. Absolutely.
The beloved and often maligned What's on Joe Mind fantasy football program.
So funny that people got all bent out of shape for that.
Felix Urquidez, sorry I'm late, but I was hexercising. But I didn't miss anything, and now I know what a full ass looks like.
Yep. I may have to get 2 of those just to honor the joke now.
Right. I don't know if I have time to do a t-shirt before the sale, but
the exclusive sucks, but the joke was pristine.
Right. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, next news item.
We
will too far. There we go. Super 7 did have a booth at Joefest, like we said. I know we're going to be kind of light on reviewing things that happened at Joefest on this post-Joefest episode, but like I said earlier in the show, we're going to try and circle back with those creators that were revealing things at Joefest so that they can talk about them in greater depth. I don't want to give them a piece of, I don't want to give their hard work 10 minutes of a 2.5-hour show. I want to give them a chance to actually talk about it and get you guys excited about it. So, but we will talk about Super 7 since they are official licensee of G.I. Joe a little bit, and that they did have their mock-ups of their O-ring figures on hand at Joefest, which was pretty cool. Not bad for a little unofficial program. And I just swiped this one. If you need more photos, Surveillance Port has a bunch of them. Just head over to surveillance-port.com. Do I have a banner for that one? I don't think so.
What?
No, I sure don't.
But donate to our coffee account to help us save up to buy the banner.
But I do have call sign Longbow thick in the crotch, so we'll run that one for a minute. And you can check out more photos at surveillance-port.com, especially since he's on the show tonight or in the live chat tonight. But we got to see the Bat, we got to see Cobra Commander, we got to see Snake Eyes, we got to see Cover Girl, and we got to see the Crimson Twins in their suits. Racktime Rob, who is your favorite and why?
I have to say, based off of the unpainted prototypes that we see here, I'm thinking I'm digging the suited Crimson Twins.
And why?
It's hard to tell from these pictures, but the legs look a little thin and the arms look a little stiff. Now, I mean, that may change, as things get, able to pose and paint it and things like that. But for some reason, though, that buck that they're using really seemed to fit a suit very well. And I thought that, they just looked like a nice, crisp, kind of tailored look to what they were wearing, which, I would think the twins would have in that case.
Mark Weber.
I mean, I got so much problems with all of this, but I love that they're doing O-ring. I do. But I'm going to put the mock in mock-up here because there's so much wrong here. They're not reaction figures. These are for Joe fans that won't collect reaction figures because Joe has never been, well,
now they are tagged as Reaction Plus.
Right, but they're not reaction. They shouldn't be attached to that at all. That's just bad marketing. I know you're trying to push that name, but reaction figures are cool for the most part because they're figures you never thought you'd get, right? Of the Back to the Future guys or the Soylent Green guy or whatever. It's figures that never got a toy line, and that's why they're awesome because they can be 5 points of articulation because that's maybe what they would have been had they come out when those movies came out. That's the hook. When they did Joe's as 5 POA, it was only cool to me and to a lot of collectors, I think, when they did characters who'd never been made before, right? when the character selection made you consider buying them. But it was never because it was a good toy. G.I. Joe was always superior to 5 points of articulation. That's part of the reason why it took off versus Star Wars, which is no mean feat in 1982, right? When Star Wars ruled most kids, and you know, I hope it's not sexist to say all boys, you know, as a fan base back then. So I got a problem with the name. I think that's dumb. I got a real problem with apparently it's never leg day. They're thin in the leg, bro. Yeah. All of them. Like the bat, maybe not as bad. And Rob's right. It doesn't look as bad on the twins because they're supposed to be in thin suits. Okay, I get it. But Snake Eyes looks atrocious from the waist down. And if you're finally doing O-ring figures, then don't pose them out in their debut like 5 points of articulation figures. Why do they all look like fireman poles, right? Like, so
yeah, they're posed like they only have 5 points. Yeah,
right. So much miss here. Now,
having not held these in hand, I mean, do we really know how posable they are? So I might give a half a pass there. If these are brittle, if these are not built to be played with even lightly, okay, I'll give a pass on that.
But unless they were just barely ready in time for the show, if these are printed out or whatever, you can print them out in poses, right? You can glue them together. They're not going to get handled at the show. They might be best off glued. They might be glued together, but in this pose. So unless it was very much last minute, and this is best foot forward, there's a lot of miss in the marketing, in the presentation, in the basic sculpt work here. Waist up, they're all pretty damn good. But they just look half-assed.
Right. I agree with you. I think that there's been a lot of good design work done here in regards to what they want them to look like. But the execution, particularly from the waist down, was lacking. They all look like they've skipped leg day.
Yeah, and I want this to win, like I said.
Right. I want this to be awesome.
Yeah.
I want this to be fantastic.
If they gave me 4 figures and a new line to create with all new tooling, it's got to be a hit. So you probably want 2 absolute A+ names, a troop builder, and a wild card. And that's exactly what they have here. Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes, plus the Bat, which is one of the best troop builders of all time, and then the Sunbow version of CoverGirl, which has never been available in an O-ring version. So, yeah, some of it they have dead on right. The character selection, the cards look great. Waist up, they look great. But there's a lot wrong here, which is a frustrating start for something the fan base is really excited about or was excited to see.
Right. And don't forget the Twins pack too, which is a great idea.
Yeah.
Again, like Sunbow CoverGirl, a Sunbow version that never saw the light of day before.
Yeah.
So,
and Josiah Alcorn makes a good point here.
To be fair, Brian Sauer is very much Brian Sauer that's a different guy. But we get you. Very much a fanboy first, a business guy second. Maybe he needs a marketing guy with experience.
It's Brian Flynn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Brian Sauer's our pal.
Yeah.
From Iowa.
You want a good marketing guy who's one of the best people I've ever worked with? His name's Joe Firstel. And he was running the Joe brand until they laid him off last year.
Right.
So.
Right. It's
imagine that.
Got him right to the finish line and then not across.
Yeah.
But so again, love the character selection, love the basic design work, but the figure construction is we'll see.
There's a lot to like here, and then maybe they can tighten it up for round 2.
Right.
But
they are prototypes. They are not finished product. These things can change. It's unlikely that they'll change significantly.
Yeah.
But maybe they can bulk up those legs a little bit and save that part of things.
I mean, the Real American Hero figures that we loved made a significant articulation change in between waves 1 and wave 2, right?
Right.
And, they weren't perfect when they first came out. They got a hell of a lot better in 1.5 and into 2. So the necks got better in wave 4, right? So I'm not saying they don't have room to grow, but there's some really obvious misses here that are disappointing.
Right. It's one of those where I think and they're talking about it some in the live chat, if there was not so much competition coming from smaller companies doing a better job with O-ring figures, we wouldn't be so critical of this.
Yeah.
Right. But we talked to Troy McKee. He's our friend. We're on top of his business. His figures look better than this at this stage. We're friends with Carson. Carson's doing all this. His figures look better than this. He had these figures. He had his figures, some of the 2-ups, out on display at his booth at Joefest, and they looked amazing. And there were no construction problems there. And I'm even more excited about them if such a thing were possible. But yeah, again, I have high hopes. I half of this figure is a really good figure, and half of it's not.
The Skeletron's first figure, which is, I don't know if it's available or sold out, but it's out there now.
Right.
Was fantastic. Right? We were right next to the Delta 17 guys.
Yeah.
And their figures look great. So
Right.
It's almost become the norm that if you actually get something launched, it's going to look good, which makes this frustrating on so many levels.
Right. When it's the official one.
Right. When it's pretty clear we're not getting these from Hasbro. Right. Where they wouldn't have licensed it out. So again, they're not atrocious. But
no, they're not bad, but in a genre that's giving us a lot of A to A- efforts.
Yeah.
Coming in with a B- is not getting it done.
Yeah. Or a C+.
Right. Or half an ass. No, it's
woohoo!
That's the other guy.
Emma just turned around and stared at me like, what the hell? Get used to it.
What's he doing now?
Yeah, get used to it.
Next news item.
More like reaction minus.
Right. Stop.
I didn't say it. Greg said it.
Yeah, he did. I caught you first. There you go. There you go, Greg. Well done. Well played.
I stole it. So if you're going to chastise somebody, chastise him. I didn't make it up. I'm just stealing material.
Hey, speaking of product, we had some that is going to be available. This week was not the week to figure out how to make these things available to you. So hang in there. We will talk more about Staff Sergeant C-Nugs packages or patches rather, and Staff Sergeant C-Nugs in action figures probably next week. But stay tuned to our social media. You can get all that stuff down below, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got our Blue Sky on there. We're on Threads. We'll put something up on YouTube if we figure something out before next week's show. But this was not the week to try and figure out how to do this. So my apologies to everyone looking to pick up one of the remaining Staff Sergeant C-Nugs packages or one or more of the in action figures. All three varieties are still available, including the fourth variant, the fourth one, the variant. But again, we'll have more details on all that later. So just stay with us. Make sure you're following us on all the social medias. Make sure you're unfollowing all those other lesser programs. Whatever. Follow what you want. But enjoy, revel in our drama-free zone where I make stupid jokes more often than anything else.
Hey, these were hot. Except for the Slaughters Marauders barbecue one.
No, that was the hottest one.
Right? The spiciest.
Not actually.
Spiciest anyway.
Mango habanero sold the best, but there's still a few of them left. But again, we'll figure out how to get this done, and when I've got a better plan in place, I'll certainly pass it along to you. Surveillance Sport says that we're in his top 8 on MySpace, which is awesome.
But so is Tom.
That's rarefied air right there. Look, man, I don't care who else is there. Whatever. I don't care. Save me. Well, you know what? When we make them available, you get yourself in and you buy a mango.
That's it.
That's all I'm saying.
Everybody's going to be sitting hitting F5 on their computer for like an hour. But
just to get everybody prepared, just to get everyone prepared, again, the patch is going to be $15, same as before. Every penny of that is going to Canines for Warriors, and then the in-action figures, the Staff Sergeant Sea-Nugs, the 3 regular editions, those are going to be $10 a piece. The special variant one is going to be $20. Every penny of those going to the Dietrichs and his cancer fight. So right there, cheapest big spender, a YouTube channel that encourages stalking. Only stalking us.
Yeah.
Hans Chow, we gave him a whole bag of pens. You'll be pleased to know the entire faculty of the school I work at are all using What's on Joe Mind branded pens without exception. Good. Let us know when you need more.
Yep.
We want that. We want that random foreign influence coming into the show.
We're taking over. Yeah.
We're just gonna roll up on Hans Chow's school, and that'll be our home away from home. I mean, if it's not already.
Yeah.
Welcome, new viewers. Next news item. And speaking of our previous videos, remember to go back, catch our panel, because a lot of you haven't. As I said at the beginning of the show, check us out. That was a lot of work to get that one turned around as quickly as it was, because it was in like 5 different parts and it was kind of a mess. But we got it done. It's up. It's our special chat with S. Sam Samuelson, founder of Joe Declassified. And it is live at Joefest. You can see the back of Doug Dello's head. You can see Bart get up and ask a question on camera. He's our special celebrity question asker. Right. He wasn't planted, but he got a seat in the front row despite being 6'8" or whatever. Yeah, so check that out. It won't take a ton of your time. It's only about 40 minutes long. We got started late because we were there after the big Seth Green panel, and he ran long. And then we were also the last panel discussion before the sales floor closed on Saturday. So we wanted to get everybody out early so they could go down and make one more pass before they head out for the night. So it's only about 35, 40 minutes long on the video. It's not going to waste your entire evening like this show is. So be sure to check that one out. Next news item. They're throwing out if Hans Chow's Trinidad accent is anything like the Bend, Oregon accent.
No.
Again, thanks to the folks at the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. Michael Kleppinger is responsible solely for the Staff Sergeant Sea-Nug in action figures. He is available, or he is out on Instagram at TechnoViper3D. You can see there Mark is playing with a special version of the tank with Colin at the pilot seat. I'll get it in close up later on, Mark. Let's get through this first. We can get to our sponsor spot.
Blast effect.
But be sure to tune into them. Their panel is getting up soon. We just got the video over to them this weekend, so you should be able to find that wherever you get your podcasts. Fellas, if you want a video host for your panel, by all means, send it on over. We'll put it up on our channel. We don't care. We have no standards. So if you similarly have no standards, and we know you don't, because they were seen in public with us.
Yeah.
In non-professional circumstances, we had dinner with the guys from the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast.
It was good too, man.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Mark and Mike and Archwan and Dominic, who brought that big 6-foot bat to Joefest.
Yeah, dude. But not to dinner.
Not to dinner, thank God.
No.
Because bats have terrible manners.
Right, along with them and the Nedros. That was us at Mellow Mushroom on Saturday night. So, but again, tune in for all of your Chunky Tank Kitty news. at the GI Joe 3D printing podcast. Right. We know what sells. That's why he's here. Chonky Tank Kitty.
Mm. Heavy.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after a quick word from our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. Did you catch them in their blue What's on Joe Mind shirts the same day that we had them on at the con? I sure did. Be sure to follow their social media as well. And shop 24/7 on the Kokomo Toys eBay page. That's available to you whenever.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
So again, a lot of folks have been asking about the cake, right? We got pictures of the cake up when it happened on our various social medias, but I haven't really told publicly the full story of the cake yet. So we'll do that here. I'll give you guys a chance to tell your own big story of the Joefest weekend, because I think the cake is going to take the cake, but you guys, you figure it out on your own. So anyways, the sneak preview portion of the weekend was Friday night, started at 6:00 p.m. So the doors open. We are all at the booth, ready to spend 2 hours meeting and greeting, pressing the flesh, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that other good stuff. And before the clock hits 6:05, there is a gentleman pulled up at our booth in a mobility assistance scooter with a Nerf Gatling gun mounted on the front, and he is dropping a full ass cake on our booth. Now, picture if you will. I don't think the pictures on our social media necessarily do it justice, but you know how cakes normally look when mom baked a cake when you were a kid. It was layer, icing, layer, and then the whole thing was covered in ice. Well, this was that, but underneath that was a full, like 2-inch thick extra layer that went like it was bigger than the layer cake on top of it. So it was like this cake on top of a bigger cake, all sitting on this platter. And so we went through all that, and I'm gonna take Rob's window out while he's not there. So he of course brought us no utensils, no plates, no way to serve cake or even eat cake. But this gentleman was the gunny, was Dennis Fleming, and he explained to us that this was a hummingbird cake. Okay, now a hummingbird cake, for those who don't know, and we certainly didn't a couple of weeks ago.
Nope.
Which is what spurred this on. We had no idea what a hummingbird cake was 3 or 4 weeks ago, which is why Dennis was moved to bake us a hummingbird cake. Think like a carrot cake, but instead of carrot, it's got banana. Okay, and so it's the same kind of cinnamon spice cake. It's got some either walnuts or pecans or something in there for texture, and there's some cherry bits in there too, so it just to kind of tart it up a little bit. But it was a banana whipped cream icing on the outside, which is why it was such a lovely shade of day glow yellow. Mm-hmm. So that's a hummingbird cake, and we had 8 pounds of a hummingbird cake just right on our desk for the entire Friday.
It had to be 8 inches tall.
Right. It was huge.
It was massive.
It was a big cake.
It was huge. As Rob has in the thing there, like banana bread, but more cakey. Yeah, it was moister than banana bread, but a similar taste. So texture was different, but that's the closest. If you're not familiar with it, that's the closest you're going to get to it cake-wise. And it was delightful, but we'll get to that in a minute. We did offer to anyone who had a knife and was willing to cut their own slice of cake, We did offer that. Hans Chow was the first person to partake. He whipped out his pocket knife, which great on a sales floor that we're letting folks carry knives in, but it's Hans Chow, so we trusted him. So he took a little quick slab off and he ate the cake and he did not die. So we were encouraged. And then another gentleman did the same that night. But for the most part, the cake was that was it. We still had a full cake minus 2 little itty bitty corners cut out of it. So we get to the end of Friday and everybody rolls out and it's like there was no lid to the platter, right? So we really had no way to travel with the cake. So the decision was made to leave the cake at the booth, right? We had no way we can't just throw the cake in the back of the rental car without it making a giant mess. So it's just kind of one of those, well, if it's here in the morning, we'll deal with it in the morning, but otherwise we're a bit at the mercy of the hotel staff. I had the cake in front of me most of that 2 hours, and the smell of it was just wonderful. It was driving me crazy. I came close to just sticking my face into it for the photo ops, but we refrained. And it's for the best. So anyways, Saturday morning rolls around. And the first person we see, we're not even at the booth yet. The first person we see is David Allen, who has interviewed all the luminaries of the G.I. Joe world over on Facebook. So if you've met David, sweet guy. It was lovely spending time with him, getting to know him a little bit. But he was essentially the floor manager for Joefest. And he is chatting with us before we're even at the booth. And he said, you guys were the ones with the cake, weren't you? And I was like, yeah, guilty. It's like, yeah, I told him to get rid of the cake. And so we all were sunken down a little bit. We were all like, oh man, that's too bad. But their rules are their rules, so we weren't going to make a stink about it. He's like, yeah, I told him to get rid of the cake because we're not supposed to have food or drink in there. But they didn't do that. Oh. So I'll take a half step back. We actually stopped at the convenience store next to our hotel. We did not stay at the convention hotel because paparazzi. But more like we didn't know we were going until they invited us a couple of months later. So we stopped at the convenience store. We bought all of the plastic cutlery that they had and a roll of Bounty paper towels because they didn't have paper plates. So we wanted to get quality paper towels at least to serve cake on.
Yeah, because we're bougie. Yeah.
Right. If the cake were there. So Cutthroat Comics says, wow, it's the 3 best guys on the internet for G.I. Joe. Thank you. We appreciate that. Tell your friends. So we showed up. We were ready to give out some cake. And so when the news came that the cake was still there, we were heartened in our new task for the weekend. And it turns out what they did was they put a couple little toothpicks in the top of the cake and then a clean trash bag over the top. So we had this clear trash bag over the top of the cake, not touching anything, sealed up underneath because the weight of that cake would air seal anything. So we were all set. We were all ready to hand out some cake. I took one of the tiny little knives out and I just started cutting out little slabs of cake. We were next to Brian Shearer. We gave him cake. We taunted him with cake most of the morning. And then around lunchtime, he's like, okay, I can't smell this cake anymore. You have to give me some cake. And he ate some. The first person to pull up to the booth once things got going is, of course, the Gunny and his son, Michael. We got the first pieces of cake. And when they ate the cake willingly and did not die, we felt even better about the decision.
Right.
And share cake with everybody who came by and wanted one. And so we ate it, and it was a delightful cake. I don't like banana stuff usually, but this cake was amazing. And I'm not overselling it because the Flemings are in the live chat. we were saying all weekend, this cake is great. So I ate too much of the cake. And I'm pretty sure Mark and Rob and Jamie did the same.
It was a big hit at the Roma booth.
Right. Big hit at the Roma booth. We took some cake. I insisted that Pixel Dan take cake.
Mhm.
And then when he did not, I chased him down and put cake on his table. And I don't think he ate it. And then when I confronted him later and said, we all had cake and the cake was delightful, I think he felt bad because then he didn't have cake.
He definitely felt bad because I ran out 5 minutes after you and dropped one of his 20-pound He-Man books on that cake. Yeah.
Only 20, huh?
Deal with that.
So, so the day carries on. We are just handing out cake. Like, I know exactly what I am capable of doing in terms of starting conversations and making jokes based on cake, because this cake gave me the opportunity. It was a full 8-hour day handing out cake samples past my few ventures out of the booth. We thought we were going to have the opportunity to get out and film stuff with everybody. We had the handy cam at the ready. Jamie was ready to go the entire time, and we couldn't get out of the booth. People wanted to talk to us the entire time, whether they're talking to Mark about his time at Hasbro, they're talking to me about the show. They want to know what's up with the future, the past cast members. They're talking to Rack Time Rob about comics. We were just the crowd response to us in a booth was far greater than I could have anticipated. As you know, somebody sitting here with a YouTube channel pushing 1,500 subscribers. I'm pretty sure that the people had no idea what we were, thought we were a much bigger deal than we are. But that's what happens when you're the king. You may not have the most followers, but you're still the freaking king. So anyways, we're handing out cake, and we get to the end of the day. It is now 5 p.m. We have finished our panel. Ryan, who was working at the Roma booth, came over and watched our booth while we were gone. And I asked him, when he came back, did we sell anything? Did we move any of the Sea Nugget figures while we were gone? He's like, no, I didn't sell any of them, but I gave away some cake. I was like, well, mission accomplished.
Yep.
So we get down, and we are down to less than a quarter of the cake, right? We have no idea what we're going to do with it. I say to these two guys and Jamie, I say, hey, I don't know we can't keep making a mess with this cake. I'm out of things to people are tired of hearing me talk about cake. The hotel staff came by and said, is this the booth with the cake? And we gave them cake, because apparently there's a place on the main street in Augusta that sells hummingbird cake, and they wanted to test how close Dennis's cake was to the one on Main Street that made a living selling cake. And good news, Dennis, they said it was excellent. They said it absolutely works right, just as good as the professional people. So you keep making your cakes, man. And so almost as if on cue, this dude comes up, and he looks like he's been at the con for about 28 hours. Forget 8 hours. He is there, and he's asking us a real thick accent. You can tell he's probably closer to local than we are. Hey, how much for the cake? And I just say to him, look, man, I can't sell you cake. We don't have permits to sell cake, but I can give you cake. And so I'm reaching over there. We have one piece of cake cut left for him. And he's like, how much for the whole thing? Dude, if you want the whole thing, you can have this entire quarter of cake. It's all yours, man. I look at Rob. It's like, are you done? I look at Mark. Are you done? We were all caked out at that point. We'd all had probably 2 pieces on ourselves. So, we gave this guy that we put the lid on the cake. What Dennis had given us the lid that morning. Put the lid on the cake and just hand it to him. And he's like, well, where can I bring the it's like, platter's broken, man. Dennis said you can get rid of it. So you finish the cake and you have it in good health, share it with your friends. It's all yours. And so that was the end of it. We had people bothering us on Sunday. They're like, why'd you give the cake away? I was counting on you guys to give me breakfast with that cake. So Dennis, good job on the cake, man. We look forward to having you give us surprise baked goods in the future. We will make sure to bring I'll try and find some like bar mitzvah plates or something to bring to the next convention that we're at.
If he brings the cake that he says he's going to next time,
yeah, we're probably not sharing that. We're not sharing that. No. If he brings the triple chocolate marshmallow cake, you guys are just going to have to sit there and watch us eat it.
We're bringing one of those Tupperware, cake that will just slide it under the table. Yeah. This goes back to the hotel.
It's coming with us.
People will be like, "Could I have a little of that cake?" And we'll say, no, actually, but you can go get me some milk.
Yeah. Right. My response is going to be, "What cake?"
What
I'll
cake?
be sitting there with a giant hunk of cake on a plate, going, "What cake?"
We'll be like, that was last year.
Yeah, we're not giving away cake this year. Mm-mm. So that is the cake epic, and I think that is the defining story of our group for this year's Joefest. I will turn the floor over to Racktime Rob to get his non-cake story from what his favorite tale from the road at Joefest 2024.
I can't beat cake.
We're not asking you to beat it. We're just asking you to have a different one.
I really don't have much of a different one. I got a chance to run around a little bit. I saw that there's comics out there that I picked up at places for like about $1. Now
right,
selling for $100. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure.
Anytime Rob was not at the booth and somebody asked where he was, I just said he's lost to the long boxes.
Yeah,
and it was the truth. You just saw his feet sticking out. From the top, he was just buried in long boxes.
It's amazing. All those comic vendors and all had the same things.
Cutthroat Comics asked, "Did you give Sergeant Slaughter a piece of cake?" We didn't. We would have. I offered it to him when he came by one time, but he was distracted and did not hear me.
Yeah.
We tried. You're lost, Sarge. So Rob is punting. Rob is not giving a story, even though there are other stories.
I to be quite honest, I really don't have a good one.
Mark Weber.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Mine's all about the swag. It's all about the haul, right? So I got my special What's on Your Mind thing. That's amazing. White Vegeta brought us ammo cases, right?
Yes.
That's outstanding.
Right. Thank you, Brad.
I don't remember who actually gave us the Finback pin, but
Codename Iowa.
Let me get you in the big camera here, Mark. Hang on for me. Go back, get the ammo case real quick. Get the ammo box.
The ammo box?
Or Foot Locker, or whatever you want to call it.
Opens up, right?
Good
for stories. Fantastic. We've shown those off. Yep, that's cool. What was
it? Go back to the patch real quick, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Now Patch Czar made us special ones. You can see there that is the Staff Sergeant C Nugget patch, but it's got a green flag on it, not a blue one. Mm-hmm. So that is the special What's on Joe Mind staff patch.
It's like a members only jacket.
Right. So there were just a few of those made. There was one for each of us. We gave one to Jamie. Michael Kleppinger got one because he did all the in-action figures, and we're sending one off to Joe Colton.
Yeah.
So that's where those are. There's only 6 of those, and you can't have one.
Nope. Those are really limited. I mean, a real chunky Hank Kitty. That's the carry case. And yeah, this one's done up to look like Colin. And the barrel fits Valaverse blast effects. It kind of feels the deal.
Awesome.
So that's outstanding.
See if you can hold the Colin tank up a little bit closer to the camera there. Let everybody see the paint job on that. Get up. You're not quite.
It's just going to be fuzzy, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're too close.
It's not adjusting.
It's unique. So,
but yeah, he's got a little gray cat with stripes on it, like Colin is.
Yeah,
sitting in the tank, so it's pretty awesome.
And that thing is like the size of a quarter of your pinky nail, right? So that is hard to paint. So I appreciated that. The only pure Joe thing I bought is something I actually needed because my pack rat was all jacked up. But aside from being floppy like they all are, that's a pretty damn good missile pack rat.
Yep.
Especially because of, hang on, I need the white background for this. That little goddamn thing, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. That's 25. That's totally fine because I don't want to buy one on eBay because who knows what kind of shape it actually is physically, right? So this is a big win for me. I was happy about that. And then, Ragtime Rob gave me a it's a magnet. That's solid because they didn't make Interrogator. Imagine that. But
Well,
Hawk's
So I
good.
got him the honcho.
Yeah.
Kerp is asking if he can have a piece of cake, and unfortunately, we have no cake to give.
Nope.
But next time, man, get out to a show, and if we've got cake, we'll be happy to share.
But the Fleming, obviously the MVPs of the show, not just because of the 20-pound cake they brought us, right? Oh, and I almost forgot, Hans Schau let us pick from a bunch of his art. Mike got to choose first, so there went Beachhead.
That was given to me, thank you.
Yeah,
that was set aside for me.
Whatever. But this Storm Shadow's badass.
So you can gripe about that all you want, but this was presented to me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like you other lesser co-hosts, you may pick from the pile.
You're the OG. You get first pick. You got seniority. You got 10, 12 years on some people, but the Flemings, not just a 20-pound cake, but gave me a box that they did not wrap because they wanted it to very clearly be a Target box, which is outstanding because it's the first thing I've opened from Target in about 5 years. So I should have known when it was a Target box,
right?
The kind of avenue I was being driven down, because inside is the Slaughter's Marauders barbecue. Because I was down to one.
But now you've got one to keep mint in box.
Yeah, I have doubled the content, the depth of my Slaughter's Marauders barbecue collection. So that's good. But the win, and this is no joke. This is legit serious. Because if you go way back, I'm the king of the lazy bastard custom, but I don't paint nothing. Right, paint ain't never touching these hands.
That's the hallmark of lazy bastard custom.
Yeah. So, and this is with a little bit of help from me in the equipment category because I happen to know a guy who's got a lot of accessories hanging around the office. But this is a custom GI Joe classified Tombstone, right?
Yeah.
Tombstone being a Joe that I created. New characters, right? And he looks pretty damn good because the basic bit about Tombstone, this is hard to do. There you go.
Right.
Was that this is a year before Black Panther came out. He was essentially supposed to be Killmonger. He was supposed to be deadly, mean, and a little bit vain. That was the idea. And the my design partner on the other coast said, got it. And then gave him a big X scar over one eye. Like, because a villain with a messed up eye is totally new. Maybe we can put him on the cover of a comic with his face and half of Snake Eyes' face and a reflection of somebody in the blade, since we're troping. So the idea that Tombstone...
What's important here is, Mark, that you're not bitter.
I mean, that's Bush League. Right? If you want to have a disagreement, let's talk about it, and then
But
we'll figure it out together, or we'll go to a third guy, probably Daryl, and he'll settle it. But don't just change what's been agreed on because it can't be fixed once you get it cast. Right? That's garbage. I was really unhappy about that. But the fact that I got a Tombstone and he looks good, how he should. And now he's well equipped, all this stuff.
Yeah, it's really excellent.
A guy took however long it took to do this. It would have taken me 175 hours, and put together something the whole time thinking I'm going to give this to Mark. That's really cool. That got me in the feels because it isn't just like here's a Starduster web. Here's a rare figure or something expensive or something. He actually invested his time into this to make something that he thought would mean a lot to me, and it absolutely did. So, salute to the Flemings, the MVPs of Joefest.
Right, and it's gonna we shared time with so many folks. I just mentioned the folks, Mike and Mark and Archwan and Dominic. We went to dinner with them with the Nedros as well on Saturday. We got to hang out with the normal Joe Con crew, I'll call them, the Ohio bunch on Sunday night after Mark was gone because he was lame and had to leave Sunday.
Yep. I had to work Monday morning.
Right. So I apologize. There's all kinds of folks that we hung out with and talked to, and that we're not gonna just be able to remember to mention everyone. So my apologies if you do. If you spent any time with us at all, we absolutely treasure it. And I'm sure the story will come up at some point down the line. So bear with us. Lord knows we love to ramble. But Racktime Rob, do you have any of your haul handy, or is it all packed away still?
Sadly, I think my my picture from Hans Chow is still in the box in the living room. But it was a very good rendition of Stalker, Rock and Roll, and Grunt on Patrol.
I don't have it here, so it must be somewhere else.
Yeah. Let's see, what did I get? Oh no! Wait! Nope. Wait, that goes along with the book.
Yep.
Nope. Oh no! Here it is, right here.
So get it in front of your face. There you go.
That's good.
So that's good stuff.
Yep.
Just keep it in front of your face, Rob.
Right.
So thank you to Hans. And then I picked up a copy of because I forgot to get in on the Kickstarter, but I rectified that problem by getting the G.I. Joe number 21 retrospective by the folks at After Action Report.
Mm-hmm. We spent some good time with Josh at the booth too.
Yep.
And
of course, I have just the standard chunky Tank Kitty.
He left Roger to do all the work.
Yep.
And of course, Patch and the folks at Delta 17 stopped by and gave us their comic that they're publishing.
Mm-hmm. They were busy too. They did.
They were.
Business.
I mean that line looks like a hit. I mean, good looking figures too.
Yeah, they were right next to us on our right. So we had a front row seat all weekend.
Yeah.
And I got me a Rooster figure that's around here. Oh, he's up there actually.
And let's say I got some magnets.
Ooh. I forgot about that guy. The Delta 17 stuff is slick. This guy's named Rooster. He was my big winner.
He's going on the fridge when we're done.
Now that you've been forced to unpack them.
Yeah.
All right. It's been a week. Rob came home with a colossal case of the Con Crud. So Cheapest Big Spender wants to know, what was the mood of Joefest of Brian retiring from G.I. Joe? He's not retired. He's just retiring from YouTube. He was there and happy, and we had a good time.
He was in a great mood. It was great.
Yeah, no sadness whatsoever. We got to meet Marianne. We hung out some at the booth. We unfortunately didn't get to catch a meal with him like I had hoped. But well, I guess we kind of did on Sunday night.
Sunday night we had pizza. Yeah.
Yes, because Mark was too cool to hang around.
Wait a minute. Saturday night we had pizza.
We had Sunday night too because we were going to go somewhere else, but everything's closed on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
good small. Thing. Good thing we went to Farmhouse on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was that burger is the truth, baby. If you ever end up in a Farmhouse burgers.
But so Racktime Rob, do you have anything else? Anything you want to share?
No, I mean, basically, while I'm at it here, I mean, quick shout out to everybody who came over to say hello to us at Joefest. I'm going to just do a big group one so I don't accidentally leave somebody out and make them feel bad.
Right. Making lists is a problem because then you inevitably forget somebody and somebody feels terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mood at Joefest was great. Everybody was happy to see everybody else. Brian will probably be back at Joefest next year, so he's not really retiring from much. He's just not doing videos. So along those lines, I gotta play a graphic. I got a thing. I mean, of course, I bought some. But the one that sticks out the most, as again, they're all pretty. Most of them came from the toy department, so those guys, it's the toy department. Those things are pristine. I don't have to show off really good beachheads to you, because you know what those look like. That's usually what I'm buying when I'm at shows. But this guy here with the green stand, this was a gift from Brian. It was from his personal collection. So this beachhead, I dare say that this one figure, this one here, has more views than we do, because it's the one that was in his video a few years ago. So that's going to sit in the collection as number 161.
We have a celebrity.
That's right. He's there. We'll see if we can ride that to some extra hits.
Right.
But I don't know if that's going to work out for us. But hey, it's worth a shot. Want to give a quick shout out, of course, to our wonderful friends at Kokomo Toys. We'll sing the theme song real quick. Kokomo Toys. Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
Not to cut my own swag run short, but it's pretty much the same as what everybody else got. I did get a Chunky Tank Kitty that was painted up like Mr. Sacco. That is on our. I don't have him handy. That is on our social media already. So check us out on Facebook or on Instagram. You'll see the Mr. Sacco Chunky Tank Kitty. So I don't want to sell that short. But again, most of what it's same as what everybody else got. This is my beachhead art from Hans Chow. He's got his night spec working. And again, that was given to me. I didn't have to select. I didn't have to choose. We've got some lovely Battle Action Force artwork from our friends, the Irish, from Patty and Brian. So I would be remiss if I did not show off some of those. And of course, here's Mark. You got I haven't sent it out yet.
Right.
You got some artwork from Brian Shearer. Got an Omega Supreme.
I always make sure to buy art from some artists at a show, when we were right next to Brian and Robert Atkins. So there's an Omega Supreme and a Kitty Pryde for my daughter who loves Kitty Pryde. That would have gotten trashed had I tried to bring it home in the suitcase. So,
right,
Mike's going to send those to me, and I'll send him some blast effects for his Chunky Tank Kitties, and we'll call it square.
Right. We may or may not have some of them available. We'll figure it out over the coming week.
There we go.
Because everybody loves a Chunky Tank Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Want to give a shout out again to everybody who came and saw us at Joefest this past weekend, or not this past weekend, but the weekend before. We love you again. Anybody, even if it's just a couple seconds to say, hey, we had a few folks who just kind of came by and they weren't real keen on introducing themselves. That's fine. We love you too if you're out there. We appreciate your tuning in and watching us every week or every other week, or maybe 5 or 6 in a clump like some weirdos do. But that's fine. We're not here to judge. You get to consume YouTube however you want to consume YouTube. Speaking of which, if you are consuming us tonight, be sure to do all those cool YouTube things for us as a quick payment there. Click those buttons in the middle there. They got a like button and a subscribe button. We don't care about notifications. We're pretty much here every Tuesday. You can set a clock to us. But do that for us, if nothing else. We've got all of our other social media down in the comments or the description below. You can follow us there. If you're plugged into any of those, we would really appreciate that as well. This channel is going to continue to grow as much as you let it. I can sell us as much as I want, but social media is too smart for that. It doesn't count if I sell us. It only counts if you sell us. So please give us a like and a share, and talk about us in your Joe circles just as much as you can. Excuse me. Give a shout out to you guys, of course, for making the trip out. It's no small task, especially to Rob and Jamie, who were in the rental car. That's a long drive. It was 13 hours down and 12 hours coming back. Mark is a little soft. He flew. But you're not. That's an even worse drive from Rhode Island. So good Lord.
Yeah. It's not that great a flight either, I'll tell you, but whatever.
No, it's not a great flight, but I bet you it's a worse drive.
I'd like to thank the guy on the longer leg of it for putting his seat back. Asshole.
Did you just slowly push it back up on him?
right? No,
I've
but
done that. I've pulled that move before.
if you put your seat back, you're feeling my knees for the whole flight.
Right.
So you do you, buddy.
Right. I've done that one before where somebody just jacks their seat back. I have just gone.
Right. What I like is if I can get a sneeze going, it'll just dust the top of the head. That's awesome. And just I don't think I've ever articulated my stance on putting your seat back, but it's don't.
Right.
I don't put mine back.
Especially on those relatively short flights.
Absolutely. Don't put your seat
It's
back.
not cool.
Unless there's nobody behind you.
Right. It's
Don't
not
put your seat back.
it's not the 80s anymore. Those seats are squeezed together. There's no space between them anymore. Just keep your seat up.
Yeah.
You're not on
They
the plane.
should just not let them recline. I'd be totally down with that.
Right. Right. Greg Augustin asking, are we at assembly required in November? I don't know. We'll figure that out. Rob's going to be in school, so I doubt he'd be able to make that trip.
Is it November 10th?
I don't know.
Because that's Michelle's birthday. That'd go over big.
I
babe.
think last week it was earlier than that. Like it's that first weekend in November usually. So I don't think it'll be the 10th.
Ooh,
But,
maybe I could buy her something nice there.
I'm sure that's the place. But Des Moines is very clean. I've been to the Burger King. But yeah, we'll try and figure that out. It's I know we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, but that's kind of how this operation works. We are not blessed with a huge budget. Speaking of which, we do have a coffee account. You can find the links to that down below. If you have a couple of bucks you can spare every month, we'll be happy to take them from you. It really helps with the operating expenses as far as keeping our Podbean site open so that the audio archives are always there. As far as just all the random stuff that we do that occasionally we've got to send stuff out. We've got to pay for postage. It covers all that. It's really does help us out quite a bit because there is not a lot of extra money in the pockets of low-level IT guy, educator, and beginning, operations manager for the startup toy company. Those are not Forbes type jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg is criticizing my stop at the Burger King. Look, man, I was there once 15 years ago, and I was just passing through.
Yeah, it's just passing by.
We stopped. So we stopped at the Burger King. Give me a break, man.
Thought I'd stop by and say hello.
Crusher, you shouldn't have.
I hope somebody got that out there because it's hysterical.
My favorite wrestling match of all time.
Right. Bugs Bunny versus the Crusher. But, we've rambled on for over 2.5 hours now. I think it's just time to go.
We can go all night. I got nobody here.
I started this show tired. I am absolutely beaten down now.
He kept saying all day, that's going to be a quick one tonight. It's going in and getting out.
I knew it wasn't going to be a quick one. Just think if I had booked a guest, how much longer would we be going? Just listening to Phil Donnelly talk. And
Oh, we love the Phil. Look, I like the duality now that I get to yell randomly and surprise the dog. Right? Hey!
Right.
Ain't nobody here but you and me, dog, and the cat who don't care. So.
Danny of our time with the compliment of compliments. This episode was full ass. No having here tonight.
That's right.
We appreciate that, Danny. And again, thank you for stopping in. But that goes for all of you, man. Shout out to everybody in the live chat tonight. Shout out if you're catching us on recording. Shout out to our audio listeners. Just all of you. We really appreciate it. Keep on keeping on. We talk a lot about subscription count at times, and it's just kind of a necessary evil, unfortunately. But honestly, if this is what we are, if 1,400 to 1,500 fans is what we are, then that's great because we have the best 1,400 to 1,500 fans, and we're more than happy to keep bringing you our brand of weirdness and G.I. Joe news. So again, we may not have the most fans, we just have the best fans. So keep up with that. Spread the word, and if the folks who are like you, they'll find us. But as our friend Aegon likes to say, hey, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Thanks for joining us here on this week's episode of What's on Joe Mind. I'm going to go grab a nap. For Racktime Rob and the Honcho Mark Weber, I'm Mike Irizarry. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday at 9 p.m. for the next sparkling, fresh,
full ass
episode. Oh, this is going to be an Absorb Vids intro, isn't it? It absolutely is.
Dude, he's already finished it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's
probably emailing it to you now.
It is sitting in the inbox right now.
Yep.
The next episode of What's on Joe Mind. Have a great week, everybody. Good night, and yo, Joe. From the bottom row, it's the Honcho.
Thank you.